formed against me shall prosper. Oh, it won't work.
No weapon
formed against me. Give me that ad-lib again.
No weapon.
One more time.
No weapon.
One more time.
No weapon.
Bitch. Who the fuck y'all hoes think?
Okay, the facts are back.
So who the fuck y'all hoes think it was, bitch, or what time of day it was? Okay.
You gotta understand that this is a community-based project. We're not getting any funding from the government. I seen bitches out there talking about, wait till Trump hears about this. Trump can suck my dick.
I gotta wait till Tuesday. Okay. Oh my God. I just need to keep hearing that right there. Hey, you are awesomely awesome. And you're the best. You're the best blessed. Just hell. I can't even sound, you know what to say.
Had a vision for 20 in the morning, thinking of my little sister said morning. Struggling with realities, no maladies, holidays ain't the same, everything's changed. No Bowie, no Prince, and no Michael, no Andre Crouch and the Disciples, no Walter, Edwin, or Derek Coley, no Whitney, no George Michael. Toys R Us gone bankrupt. Damn, they guitar city went bankrupt. Everything from my childhood's missing, man. Man, I swear it's such a fucked up feeling, man. I'm not mad, it's a simple observation. And I'm not sad, but it's not a celebration. I'm just trying to put the pieces back together, man. Everything's falling through my fingers like sand. It seems a tighter that I'm gripping. It seems more that I am slipping. I feel like I lost everything I love. And where's this alleged agape love? In churches ain't the same. Gospel music just ain't the same. R&B it just ain't the same. But y'all keep telling me it's the same. But I ain't feeling nothing, damn it. And I don't wanna reach up and grab it. Shots fired, get to ducking. Always knew they were up to something. This ain't no future, bring it frontin'. And y'all know you still have it, fool. I'm not a baby, bro, I'm grown. Don't leave me standing out here alone. That's why I wrote this song. Because I know I'm not alone. What are we out here doing? What are we out here saying? People don't care no more. So fuck it, I don't care no more. If this is too much for you to handle, I was always too much to handle. There ain't nothing new about me. You don't want authenticity. You don't want sincerity. 2020 brought me clarity. Now I see who you really are. No mask wearing, mailbox record, racist motherfucker. Let's go. Homie, you don't really want it. Sis, you don't really want it. I'm your nightmare opponent. Walking in a new anointing. Walking past all your bullets. Nothing in your trigger bullet. Try and pull it again. No weapon missed again. Tired of talking about changes. Tired of going through changes. Lie after lie. Lie after lie. Republicans and the Democrats. Prime ministers and bureaucrats. Senators and aristocrats. HBO and Cinemax. Still the babies in the cages. Babies dying in the cages. I ain't forgot about the cages. And if you did, then you were racist. Calling it out like it is. Call it out like it is. We've been indoors for a year. And we're heading for another year. Lights off for Cologne. High interest student loans. Living in a pandemic. Calculated and systemic. Start with black folks first. Kill that melanin first. Presses down and we pop up. Presses down and we pop up.
All of your wicked intentions, it didn't work back then. Ain't gonna work now. We were people back then, but we get rowdy now. Let's get ready to rumble. Let's get ready to rumble. Sick of being here anyway. Can somebody shout change? Change! Change!
I took a hit for the team, took a bullet for the dream, that we would one day all be free, free from prejudice, free from sexism, free from bigotry. I die for creativity, I die for freedom to be free. I died and left a legacy. Oh, but baby, I still live through technology. After the sun, oh, then comes the rain. Yeah. And after the sun will start shining. Blood is a pain, and tears of pain. And tears of pain. That's a struggle, just be patient. Your destiny will manifest. Yes, Bubs in the city.
What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? What is going on, everyone? Hope everybody is having an okay. I think today is what? Tuesday? Today is Tuesday the 14th. I hope everybody is doing the best that they fucking can to enjoy the life that they can have for what it is right now. It is your hostess with the leprechaun mostess, BubzDaGawd. What's going on, y'all? Hope everybody is doing well. Y'all gonna have to forgive me how I look, baby. I got my hair retwisted in a protective style, baby, and I'm trying to keep this bitch in for as long as I can, okay? So this is what I'm giving today. I'm kind of upset because I normally have different headphones for my computer, my laptop, to be able to do my live stream on, and I swore that I had it. I swore that when I was packing to come see my people that I had it, and I didn't. So I have to use these beat up ass beats. So again, I hate using Bluetooth with my computer because when I'm streaming, the audio is delayed some, which is why I don't have it on my head. I'll probably have it on my head when I'm actually listening to the content. But yes, please make sure y'all go ahead and hit that like button. It helps this channel to grow in the algorithms. Okay, we are at 953 subscribers. So we are very, very close to the 1K goal. And by you liking, sharing the content, it really helps this channel to grow. If you like the vibe over here on BubzDaGawd, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so that you, okay, can stay up to date with all of my content, whether it's edited content or live content. Again, you can use any of my content, whether you agree, disagree, you want to just read the hell out of me, whatever your purpose is. This is, you have what is known as the freedom of speech. Despite the trauma administration trying to do everything in its fucking power to prevent that from happening, you do have freedom of speech, so you have a right to be able to give your commentary on my commentary, again, whether you agree or disagree. The only thing that I ask is that you at me at BubzDaGawd so I know that it's real, okay? And if you definitely feel compelled, you can hit that CashApp, $BubzDaGawd. Everything that you send, anything that you send can help. Whether it jingle and folds, baby, we both hand it when it comes to that. Okay? But before we get into this live, y'all know we gotta always do it right, and every fucking time I forget to pull this up because I'll be looking at other shit. Where all this other stuff come from? On my other phone. Anyway, boom. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All the videos, songs, images, and graphics used in this live belong to their respective owners, and BubzDaGawd does not claim any right over them. Okay, so with that being said, the first thing that I want to do in my random live with Bubs is I want to speak about the unfortunate passing of two individuals within the past few days. The first one is Miss Major Griffin Gracie, okay, who recently passed away on October 13th, which was yesterday of this year, who was a celebrated Black transgender elder, author, and civil rights icon known for over 50 years of activism, often called Mama. She was a key figure in the Stonewall Rebellion and dedicated her life to uplifting transgendered women of color, especially those impacted by incarceration and police brutality. Let me put one of these headphones on, girl, because I gotta make it work. Okay, we just gonna do it like this. I'm about to hear my voice repeated. Here are some of the key contributions and backgrounds to Miss Major. Her early life and activism. She was born in Chicago in 1946. Miss Major experienced gender-affirming joy in drag balls and faced rejection from her family, leading her to move to New York City. She was a prominent sex worker and drag performer in the pre-Stonewall scene. As a Stonewall veteran, she was a participant in the 1969 Stonewall Uprising and viewed the event as a fight for survival for trans women. Doesn't it kind of sound fucking familiar? That bitch be right here again. Girl, what is going on? But anyway, she later expressed frustration over the role of trans activists who was often overlooked by the mainstream LGBTQ plus movement. Dealing with the prison industrial complex. She was an activist for that, for those that were in prison. Her time in prison following Stonewall, where she faced extreme mistreatment, politicized her against the criminal justice system, okay? As the executive director of the Transgender Gender Variant Intersex Justice Project, or the TGIJP, she advocated for trans people in and out of prison, continuing her work as a mentor after retiring. During the AIDS epidemic, this was her response. During the epidemic in the 80s, Miss Major was a pioneer in grassroots healthcare. She managed to drop in-center and started a mobile needle exchange program in San Francisco. The House of Gigi. In her later years, she moved to Little Rock, Arkansas, and founded the House of Gigi. The retreat center serves as a healing space for Black trans people and gender non-conforming leaders. And as far as her legacy, baby, okay? Miss Major's legacy is defined by her unwavering commitment to the most marginalized people within the queer community, particularly Black trans women. Her memoir, Miss Major Speaks, was released in 2023, and a 2015 documentary, Major, chronicled her life. Her vision and leadership continue to inspire new generations of activists. And speaking of being inspired by, or inspiring new generation of activists, what I want to do right now is I want to go ahead and give her her flowers and her roses by sharing with you all the video that one of my growing favorite trans women, there's still a lot of growing to do on my end, but as far as trans women of color that I do follow, one of them is Miss Fairy Puss. I enjoy her commentary. I enjoy how she uses her voice to like be an amazing storyteller. And as a visionary myself, I just love how she's able to put all this together. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a listen to what Miss Fairy Puss had to say in reference to honoring Miss Major. And shout out to Queen Steve in the building. Yes, rest in peace to Miss Gracie. Let's take a look at that right now, shall we?
With a heavy heart.
Oh Lord, I done forgot. Hold on. I was over here rushing, trying to get this stuff done. Where are we at? Okay, monitor and output. Now we should be good. So anyway, let's go ahead and continue with the legacy of Miss Major through the lens of Miss Fairy Puss.
With a heavy heart, I come to let y'all know that Mother Major has gone to glory. Rest in power to Miss Major. When we talk about Black queer people being at the forefront of the fight, she's one of them ones. When we talk about resilience, tenacity, influence, those great elders, she's one of those ones. Literally until her dying day, Mama Major poured her heart into our community. She one of them ones. Light a candle, have a moment of silence, sing a song, watch a black and white classic in the name of the life of Miss Major. Peace, love, and blessings to all of the family, friends, and loved ones of Mama Major.
And that's why it's very important that I continue as a same gender loving man to educate myself about the queer community. I am just a G in the LGBTQ plus whatever else that is being expressed. Okay, but yes, I'm still learning. Like I said, about the queer community. I just found out about Miss Majors recently due to Hope Giselle and Fairy Puss and Diamond Styles and Dominique Morgan and other influential trans women of color who keep the history alive. I eventually want to watch her documentary called Major and see what that's given. And yes, to keep the history alive. And this administration is doing everything in its power to erase legacies like Miss Major. So I think it's very important for us as individuals living in this technological age, right? I think with us living in technological age, I'm not gonna say it again, girl, because I tried it. And I am drinking a little bit of this wine, so y'all gonna have to forgive me. But we're in the information age. There is no reason for anybody to really be ignorant about any fucking thing, really. So I think we need to keep the legacy going, keep the love strong, especially now than ever. No shade. Shout out to Queen Stevie in the building, who also does her due deals to be able to educate me about more of the trans experience than I would ever know. And even some of the other aspects of the queer community, because even though I am G, I'm not G the God over everybody. I'm just BubzDaGawd over me. So I'm grateful for all the information that is being shared, and we have to keep it alive. Don't let it die. Do not let it die, because if they erase her legacy, that means they're erasing our future. You know, we got Queen Spicy in the building. What's going on, Queen Spicy? And not only did Miss Majors passed away recently, also R&B singer D'Angelo has unfortunately passed away as well. How does it feel? Ooh. How does it feel? Again, shout out to Medusa on on Instagram. She ended up sending me a DM from TMZ where it explains how D'Angelo unfortunately passed away, and it reads, D'Angelo, Grammy-winning icon, I'm gonna say passed away. I don't want to use the word that you have down there, the D word, but has went on to glory. Okay, at 51, following cancer battle. This was updated at 10:50 a.m. D'Angelo's family released a statement following his death. Quote, "The shining star of our family has dimmed his light for us in this life. After a prolonged and courageous battle with cancer, we are heartbroken to announce that Michael D'Angelo Archer, known to his fans around the world as D'Angelo, has been called home, departing this life today, October 14th. Okay? We are saddened that he can only leave dear memories with his family, but we are externally grateful for the legacy of extraordinarily moving music he leaves behind, and he made some dope-ass music. One of the pioneers, especially in the realm of Neo Soul Girl, he did it. So we're gonna give him honor and props. No shade. We ask that you respect our privacy during this difficult time, but invite you all to join us in mourning his passing while also celebrating the gift of song that he has left for the world. Grammy-winning R&B soul singer D'Angelo passed away from pancreatic cancer, TMZ has learned. The brown sugar babe singer, songwriter passed away this morning at NYC, according to sources connected to his family and his former manager, Kendar Mussenberg. While D'Angelo had not been public about his cancer battle, we're told he's been in treatment for in treatment for several months. D'Angelo was a singular talent who collaborated with the likes of Jay-Z, Snoop Dogg, and Q-Tip. After bursting onto the scene in 1995 with his solo debut album, Brown Sugar, he won 4 Grammys, including Best R&B Album for Voodoo in 2001 and Black Messiah in 2016. He also won Best R&B Song in 2016 for Rlwb and Best Male R&B Vocal Performance for Untitled, How Does It Feel? Even before the Grammy win, How Does It Feel left an indelible imprint on music and the minds of schoolgirls everywhere for its iconic video, which featured the singer alone against a blank black background, appearing to be fully unclothed. And for a lot of the homosexuals out there, I'm pretty sure that was your awakening. No shade. Last year, Raphael Saadiq told the Rolling Stone Music Now podcast D'Angelo was working on releasing a new album, saying, quote, "He's excited. He's working on 6 pieces right now, and he seems super excited." The singer is survived by 2 sons and a daughter. The mother of his first son was singer Angie Stone, who we learned and unfortunately passed away tragically this year in a car accident. D'Angelo was 51 years old. So I say to both Miss Majors, to D'Angelo, may y'all rest in power, okay? If anything, I think this is a time for us to come together to learn how to love each other, to be there for each other and really build community. And also to, from a spiritual, metaphysical standpoint, and again, I am still growing in this. I don't know everything. But I know that stress can contribute to things like cancer and different type of illnesses. My father would say all the time, your dis-ease will turn into a disease. And these are very stressful times that we're dealing with as Americans. Really human beings, but in the context of America, Americans. So make sure that you love a little longer, hug a little stronger, girl, and hug a little longer and stronger, love a little longer and stronger, do all the things longer and stronger. Don't you love long and strong shit? Make sure you do it, especially for those that you love and that you care about, because life is crazy and you don't know when the end will come, okay? So with that being said, again, may they both rest in power. We got Twan in the building. Twan says, "I am so sad that beautiful man is gone. All this loss, yet evil seems to be alive and thriving." Well, that's because the universe is going to take its time whooping that ass. At least those who have gone before us, there is some sort of grace because they don't have to deal with the bullshit onslaught that we, unfortunately, are going to deal with. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so with that being said again, rest in power to both of those icons, okay?
All right, quick question.
Now, what we're going to get into here, let me change the music a little bit. Well, no, I'll keep it on this. Because it's still kind of sentimental in a sense. Now, I remember watching this and sharing this on my Instagram, I want to say, about like a few months ago. And again, the source is at the top of the screen. I'll probably put all of the links later on. I kind of want to hurry up and get this on out the way. But this right here is very, very important. And I want black men. Okay? I would love for black men to stop trying to gayify everything. Stop trying to sweet booty everything. Trying to make everything punk-like. Like, your sons, your young sons, young nephews, young cousins, young men should have the ability to be able to express their emotions without judgment. And because we live in a very patriarchal society, because we live in a society that thrives in toxic masculinity, there are not safe spaces for black boys to literally have a space to fucking breathe. And then y'all wonder why motherfuckers want to pop off all the time. And y'all wonder why motherfuckers always trying to fuck all the time. Because black men, black males, black fathers, black coaches, black men are not emotionally and mentally aware, secure, and established and intelligent. But when I see videos like this, okay, by I'm gonna mess his name up. I am McCann. I messed it up, girl. His name is a long ass name, but again, the source is at the top. But when I see videos like this, especially like, for example, black boy empowerment, I love how they're able to handle and deal with black boys' emotions and being able to teach them at a younger age how to deal with them so they don't become fucking callous, and then they cannot be the proper husband, be the proper father, be the proper brother, be the proper black male that is so desperately needed in the black community. And as you will see after these two videos, black men, even though this person is going to say men, but I want to say black men at large, are the last, especially mentally and emotionally, to evolve. But again, when I see stuff like this, it makes my heart happy, because that means that these individuals, because they're learning how the word that's coming to mind is relegate. I don't know if that's the proper term, but these boys being taught how to deal with their emotions and to self-regulate. There you go, self-regulate their emotions. They are going to be less likely to unalive somebody because of anger. They're going to be less likely to harm women. They're going to be less likely to do disastrous, destructive things that so many men before them have unfortunately done. So with that being said, let me shut the hell up and let's take a listen, shall we?
I'm just asking. You got emotional? Why? If you don't mind me asking.
Because it's like I was just getting stuff on my chest. I kept paying for something.
You hold a lot in, right? Why?
Because I don't feel like I got nobody to talk to.
Even dad?
I mean, like my mama, but like she just don't understand the stuff I go through.
Mom don't hear you?
Yeah, she can hear me, but like she just don't. It just don't feel the same. Like she can't relate how I feel.
How you feel? How is it with dad?
It's like I can talk to him, but it's like he just don't feel comfortable.
He don't know how to do what you doing right now.
Yeah,
he been through it. So he been through it too, and he don't know how to open up.
Yeah.
First off, King, thank you. Let's give him a hand. Would I be wrong to say you there for a lot of people? A lot of people ain't there for you, huh?
Yeah, I'm there for a lot.
But they not there for you.
Yeah.
Today you get to be. We finna care for you today. We finna have your back today. Let's see what you got, and you can say as much as you want.
The truth is, I miss my granny. The truth is, I'm really going through stuff. The truth is, I miss the old days. The truth is, I hold stuff in.
Come on, man. Come on.
The truth is, I'm hurt.
Keep going, man.
The truth is, I miss my brother before he changed.
Keep going.
The truth is, nobody really cared. The truth is, I miss being together with family.
Come on.
The truth is, I'm misunderstood.
Give him a hand, man. Show some love. What you looking like?
Do you see? Let me go big screen for this shit. Hold on. Do you see how that black man was able to still show up in a masculine way as far as being there for another black man, another young black man, and allowing that black man to release whatever the fuck he is holding on the inside? How many hog maw eating motherfuckers we know on these platforms is gonna do that? How many chitlin sniffing inhaling ass bastards that we've seen on these red pill platforms are gonna do that? I remember hearing one saying, well, if your mama passed away, damn, you gonna cry every day? Nigga, until I get it the fuck up out my system, yes I am. You just heard that boy say that he missed his fucking grandma. He missed all these people before they fucking changed. He has no one to talk to. And when this young boy is broken, where the fuck are these other niggas at? Oh, on YouTube, talking about bitches and hoes, wishing they can fuck the bitches and hoes, cause the women they went don't even suck their dick like they used to back when they was in high school, back when they was in college. Huh? So for a black boy to be able to break down and to be in a space to feel safe, to be able to tell somebody else, another man, because again, like he said, he could talk to his mom, but it don't feel the same. And he talks to his father, but it still don't feel safe because again, crying and shit. Oh my God, that's some weak shit. That's some bitch shit. Okay then, well, I'd rather cry and look like a bitch than unalive somebody, go to prison and end up being somebody's bitch. Do you see how that works? Oh, but we're not done. That same individual, shout out to him, ended up putting that same young man in an example, okay, in a scenario to be able to help him equip himself to be able to start having conversations or to initiate conversations with his father. And in order for things to be better, guess what? Both parties have to be willing to make the shit work. And here it is, this man is going to teach this young man how to initiate that with his father and even be told at the end to still give your father grace, which no shade. Even in my situation with my father, I have to give my father grace and understanding because he was going through things as well. He was dealing with fear-based ideologies as well because of his queer children. But he was able to go through it, and now we are in a much better place. And I'm glad that I'm in a much better place and I'm growing in a better place with my father because I didn't want to sit up here and be like so many others who that when my father's on his deathbed or he passes away, now that guilt and shame is there because I wish things could have been different when you had the fucking opportunity to make it different while people are living. But let's go back to the video and then I'm gonna get to y'all comments.
Me like I'm not your daddy. Let me talk first. What you got to get off your chest?
You just can't open up to me like I'm your son.
Open up to you?
Yeah.
Man, you ain't soft. I don't do all that. You know, I've been through too much to be opening up. What I need to open up for? I got a house for you. I take care of you. What else you need?
But like, I need you to like.
How many times have we heard niggas say that? I put a roof over your head. I put clothes on your back. I put food in your stomach. It reminds me of that motherfucking monologue in what's the name of that movie with Denzel Washington and Viola Davis? I forgot. When his son was talking about, you don't like me? What you mean? Who says I gotta like you? I do this and I do that and I do that and I do this for you. I ain't got to like you. Do you see how that fucks people's mind up? And at the same time, I understand that there are black men out there that have been through so much. Black men that have also internalized their hurt and pain as well. But because of the toxic patriarchal view of men do not cry, these individuals end up holding all this shit in and then they end up hardening their fucking hearts. There is no transformation, there is no restoration. There is only condemnation and control. But if you do not work your own shit out, you will end up projecting that onto your child who will go into the world and affect the world. Now, how they affect the world is going to be on them. But if you shut your children out emotionally, and you don't give them an outlet to be emotional, to say that yes, you are a male, but you are a human before anything else. Before you are a man in this society, you are a human being when it comes down to life. But let's continue.
Like, give me guidance and show me the way.
Toughen up.
But still, though, even if you don't do that, like, you can still talk to your son.
Like what? What you want me to say to you,
like,
man?
Check on me. See how I'm doing every day.
You got clothes, you clean. What else I need to do?
All these clothes and stuff don't mean nothing. Like, truth, I can be hurting on the inside, but put a smile on the outside. Like, even though we in the same house, it's like you're not there.
Like, you ain't a man. How I'm gonna conversate with you?
But I'm going to be a man, though. That's the thing. And I need you to tell me what to do and what not to do.
I ain't had nobody to sit me down. I grew up in a different time. I need you to tell me, son, from your heart, tell me what you need to talk about.
Whenever I talk to you, just get more into it instead of just giving me like a one-word response. Like, keep feeding into it. Like, put your energy into it and just like keep it 100. Like, don't try to push it to the side, act like something else important than your son talking to you.
Mm-hmm. But let me say this to you, son. What if your dad don't know how to do that? Your dad probably coming about the age, me and my good friend, they didn't let us be emotional. When our friends got hurt, they told us suck it up and keep going. Our mothers sometimes told us act like a man and we was little boy. What if they been telling your dad since he was a little boy to be a man and now he trying to talk to you? He don't know. Just give him some grace. Try to work with it. All right? Y'all give him a hand.
Shout out to him saying that yes, to give your father grace, because there are some men that are hurting and don't know how to have these conversations. But then there's a bunch of men on these platforms who stand flat foot, 10 toes down, gout foot down, okay, on the fact that we have to be men and we can't be emotional and we have to be tough and we have to be strong. You niggas are still on the battlefield mentally and emotionally. Y'all dealing with PTSD mentally and emotionally. You are doing a great disservice for your black son. But again, it be those type of individuals that we just saw them 2 examples that gives me hope that there are black heterosexual men who are going to do what the fuck needs to be done in order to better their community. Yes, you also need to teach a human being, or in this context, a boy, how to also be tough in situations that calls for it. When there is more mental and emotional control that needs to happen. But when your child is human and they break the fuck down, because everybody has a breaking point, you as a father is supposed to find a way to create a safe environment for your child to break down, and for the father to let his son know that no matter what you're going through, I will always be here for you. Those words will probably change a young boy's life. But I guess some of these niggas are only king, not to King Trump, only to King Trump, but also to Burger King as well. Because the Big Macs are worth more than their children's future mentally and emotionally. Physically, things can change. But how they handle that change, baby, that's another story. And before I get to y'all comments, let's go ahead and finish with that little part, girl, about homegirl coming through talking about how men are the last ones, unfortunately, to evolve. Let's take a listen.
Men are crashing out because I made a video saying that society is not requiring men to evolve, and where is the lie? Society is not requiring men to evolve. Is society requiring men to stop using violence, oppression, and domination to get what they want? Is society requiring men to remove the entitlement that has them believing that they can have anything they want at the expense of anyone without anyone's consent? Is society requiring men to stop violently oppressing and subjugating women and children and objectifying them? Is society requiring men to improve their emotional responses, their education levels, their comprehension skills? Like, the list goes on and on and on. Look at education. Women are surpassing men in education, so they're not requiring men to improve. They're trying to take away education. Women aren't choosing men, so they're pussy politicking instead of making men actually change their behavior so women feel safe enough to choose them. Like, the world bends for men's voluntary ineptitude.
No shade. And as you can see on the screen, girl, racist white people and homophobic black people are two sides of the same coin. But before we get into that, no shade, what homegirl said was right. Because we're in a patriarchal system, there's a level of privilege there to where I get to do everything and you don't. But the gag is Mother Nature is coming through and is kicking ass and taking names. And especially in the black community, whenever black men try to rise and ascend, there's always some booger wolf ass niggas. Always some booger wolf ass niggas, girl, that come through with the bullshit. Okay? And over here on BubzDaGawd, we will continue to keep our leprechaun foot on one of the many necks of some of these red pill ass niggas. But before we continue to go keep our foot on these niggas' necks, let me look at y'all comments real quick. Let me see. Queen Stevie says, I love when he gets tongue-tied. I hate it. She also says, we need more of this. This is productive, and we need, and what we need, unlike a certain platform that is supposed to be helping black men. Okay? Outlets for young black men to be able to express themselves and not be judged or persecuted. She also says that everyone needs to go watch Moonlight. We got the Black Anarchist in the building. What's going on, Pimpin'? Hope that you're still here. Okay? And yes, make sure that y'all go ahead and get you a copy of Blame It on the Dress, okay? The Manufacturing of Black Homophobia and Performative Masculinity by the Black Anarchist Podcast. An amazing ass read. Make sure y'all go ahead and check that out, as well as chapter 1 of my dark interpretation of Blame It on the Dress here on this BubzDaGawd channel. And speaking of BubzDaGawd, make sure you like the video. Appreciate it. Queen Stevie said, if only white men, especially these white men that voted the way they voted in this election, would do something like this. But we know that white supremacy, white male patriarchy will always be the danger to us African Americans in this country, and they will not let go of that white privilege. Hell no, baby. They're willing to burn it down and coughs at a particular platform, baby. Don't cough too hard, baby, because they might think you're coughing up food, and they might come through and try to swallow it from you. That's the only thing they swallow like a bottom is food. Amen? So make sure I go ahead and hit the like button. Now, into this particular situation here, like I said, racist white people and homophobic black people are two sides of the same coin. We're going to get into examples of that. And speaking of the same coin, some of these big back niggas will take that same racist coin, girl, and go all the way to McDonald's, girl, to make sure that their Big Macs are fresh. Okay? Now, we're going to get into more of these red pill ass niggas, girl, who voted for Trump, who voted against their best interest, who voted against the future of their own children and family members, girl. Okay? And also seeing how their rewards are going for them. The ones who decided to sell their own people up the road, up the river, down the river, across the river. Let's take a look and take a listen to how those same people who were shucking and jiving and cooning like a motherfucker, girl, how y'all doing now?
Is firing black people. One by one, the black faces inside his administration are vanishing, fired by email, text, or in the dead of night. Robert E. Primus was one of them, blindsided by a message that ended his career with a single click. What's happening isn't random. It's a purge, a quiet resegregation of federal power. Primus is the first black chair of the Surface Transportation Board. But now he joins a growing list of black officials abruptly ousted from the Trump administration. From General Charles Q. Brown Jr., the nation's top military officer, to Carla Hayden, the first black librarian of Congress. Even Lisa Cook, the first black woman on the Federal Reserve's board, had to sue to keep her seat. His administration's reasoning? They don't align with the president's agenda. But when almost every replacement, every one of them, is white, it starts to look less like realignment and more like resegregation. Of 98 top Senate confirmed appointees in his first 200 days, only just 2% are black, despite black people making up 13% of the US population. Compare that to Biden's 21%. Obama's was even higher. As one expert put it, Trump likes black faces behind his podiums, just not behind his policies. For decades, federal service has been a ladder to the black middle class. Steady work, fair pay, dignity. But today, that ladder's being yanked away rung by rung. Or as former board member Janine Wilcox said after her own late night firing, we had targets on our backs by virtue of the color of our skin. Welcome to Project 2025, y'all, where a text message can end a career and where thank you for your service sounds a lot like don't call us back. Y'all stay woke now.
When I tell you at some point the world will see you for who you are, you remember this guy, right?
Now, before we get into that guy, baby, I just want to know again. Let me go back big screen. Turn this lo-fi off so I can put on this one. This is the one that I want. Look y'all dead in the camera, girl. To you black MAGA tinfoil hat wearing bitches, right? Y'all have been very, very, very quiet. Y'all have been very, 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 very quiet. Y'all haven't been saying shit. Y'all haven't been talking shit. Y'all gonna eat shit because we know that's what you love to do. But y'all haven't said anything. Where is all this factual information that people like myself and others like Boss Man and Conscious TV and all the other people, girl, we're fear-mongering. Where is all y'all information, girl? Oh, it's nowhere to be found. Just like some of y'all waistlines, nowhere to be found. Just like some of y'all dicks, nowhere to be found. Just like some of y'all pulses and shit, nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. But we're not done. Let's go back to the video. And I want y'all to tell me if y'all remember this big nigga. Cause it's always these Uncle Ruckuses in they prime, tight pants up to here, having ass niggas that always got some dumb shit to say about black people, girl. Let's take a look.
If not, let me give you a quick recap.
Is in my Amanda Seal debate, she was the worst Jubilee surprise guest probably that they had. She was the stereotypical black woman. She was angry. She was nasty.
And then
no, Miss Mamas, you was the angry black woman, or what you really want to say, the angry black bitch you were. Because you was the one up there getting very saucy, no Santana as hell with Miss Amanda Seals. Oh, and just so you know, that such and such happened. I don't know if you knew that. It's kind of like, girl. Sometimes you just got to stop and just stare at a motherfucker real quick and just look at them. Just want to look at you. Just look at you for a second. She wasn't the angry, stereotypical black woman, because if she was the angry, stereotypical black woman, you wouldn't have been talking at all. Especially the amount that you talked. And we saw how fast your ass ran to that chair. So you were ready to go ahead and get your 15 minutes of fame. But let's take a listen to what the fuck happened after your little 15 minutes of fame.
After that, he claimed that people were targeting him. They were coming after him and calling his school and his church. And then that fell apart and he made this video.
So this is me cleaning out my classroom because I resigned because I was targeted at my school for my political beliefs. So this is my classroom, me getting my stuff. And yeah, I was targeted. I was told in so many words that if you don't stop speaking about certain political things, that you will be fired. And then I was targeted afterwards with a bunch of petty stuff to get me to leave my job. So, you know, this shouldn't be happening in any workplace for conservatives or Christians or And this is a Christian school, but it's predominantly black. These are run by black Democrats.
Yeah, so he was never attacked. What happened was parents started finding his content and found out that he never has anything positive or good to say about black people. Just like on Jubilee, he had nothing good to say. So he started making out like he was attacked to put up a GoFundMe, which didn't work like it did for like people like Connor. This has been months, and that's all the amount of money that he's been able to raise. And yet he still just sings the praises of white people while consistently putting down black people and talking about how bad the black community is. And now we know why.
The biggest things I had to overcome was just perversion. Most people wouldn't look at me, and they actually, it's amazing the work of God, because most people look at me and say, you don't ever look like you were that type of person. But before this, I was definitely in the gay lifestyle. I was in the LGBT community. Most people would have never known, though, because I kept it pretty hidden.
He actually hates himself. And I sat there and listened to his story about the drugs and the homosexual lifestyle and everything. He claims that he's been molested just about by everyone he's ever come in contact with. Multiple cousins, multiple friends, multiple family members, his mother's boyfriend, his father's girlfriend's son. It just sounds ridiculous. Almost like it was scripted.
Girl, my titties, girl. What? This is, see, just like a lot of failed and lackluster ass pastors, girl, when their message is not really hitting the congregation like they imagined it would have hit it in their fucking heads, they go to their one fail-safe, girl, especially in the black community, which is you start condemning those homosexuals. Because once you start condemning them homosexuals, girl, then you can get into some good grace. Then you can tap into the energy and frequency of the people listening. And it is funny that that dude said that it sounds like everybody's doing a script, because almost every person who claims to be ex-LGBT were doing drugs, were doing this and doing that, and somehow their sexuality was responsible for all of that. And again, if this is gonna be y'all's story, y'all need to start telling people how the fuck your ass really got out the shit. And we ain't talking about just because you stopped having sex. As much as people may not believe, girl, I don't have sex like that by choice. Because I actually care about my energy, and I want to be able to share that energy with someone who is worthy of that energy from me. So technically, I guess I'm ex-gay since I'm not having gay sex. So it's just interesting to me how this shit works. Organized religion don't even know how the fuck it works. It pretends like it does. But again, it's so funny that these people who are black conservatives, who are following Maga, who are following white nationalism, white Christian nationalism, feeling like they are somehow going to be exempt because you're one of the good ones. Yes, you're one of the good ones. You're one of the indentured servants. You're not a slave, but you're an indentured servant. You're one step above a slave. But never forget your place, nigger. Never forget your place. Because as we see, all those people who contributed to getting Trump to where he is now, especially in black spaces, they're hitting you with that thank you for your service shit and moving you the fuck along so that the real DEI people that they claim are stupid and dumb and unqualified actually gets to be in the positions where the people who are quote unquote qualified for are being removed from. You can't make this shit up. Which is why these red pill niggas, I'm still waiting for y'all to open y'all mouth and say something. Actually say something. Actually fucking do something. Because now y'all's stupidity, y'all's ignorance, and y'all's fear has helped to contribute to the social climate that we're dealing with today. And again, I am a little man, yes. but I have 10.5 size feet. And I know that can cover about 3 of the 20 necks. So I will continue to keep these leprechaun footses on the jowls of these red pill ass niggas. Okay, and yes, Amir Odom and others still tap dancing. I'm gonna have to get back into Amir Odom as well, because I made a promise that I was gonna keep my foot on his neck too, as far as his contribution to the bullshit. Because these people who claim to be on the right side of history, who claim to be on the right side of morality, the right side of God, the right side of these things, why is y'all shit not manifesting organically? Why do y'all have to lie, scheme, steal, and use AI and shit in order to manifest your version when your version is the objective truth? Do you see how this dumb shit really fucking works with these motherfuckers, girl? Do you see how this shit motherfucking happens, bitch? Girl. Anyway, let's continue with the video, because we got another section we're going to do right now. Okay? And now, we're going to continue to get into more ice shit. Ice, baby. Boom, 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 boom. Baby, we're going to get into that. We're going to look at some more videos, more evidence of ICE doing its Gestapo shit, baby. And again, this is not going to be for the faint of heart, but if you are the faint of heart, baby, you better start taking some iron pills or some damn fish oil or something and doing some cardiovascular or something, because we're going to need you to get your heart rate up and to get your heart in a better place. Okay? Because the only way out of this shit is to go through the shit. There's no avoiding it. We're here. There's no way over it, under it, or around it. We have to go through it. But let's take a listen. Now, before we get into ICE. My bad, because I'm looking at the picture. Before we get into ICE, these are white people, because again, like the thing said, racist white people and homophobic black people are the same side, are on the same coin, girl, 2 different sides of the same coin. So let's deal with the racist aspect. We're going to take a listen to this white woman who is in Home Depot, girl, and comes across some workers there that are speaking Spanish. And let's take a listen to what the hell this bitch has to say.
Take another picture of me. USA, not Cuba.
Llama, lo aprovechen.
USA.
Llama, lo aprovechen.
Can't speak English, you don't work here. Can't speak English, you don't work here. You learn to speak English, then you work here. We're going to take care of Home Depot.
Llama, lo aprovechen.
Warn you, Ben, for spitting and stretching a guy in the face.
Got an illegal immigrant. Speak the language of this country.
Llama.
Speak the language of the country.
Llámalo, apúrate.
Not in English, sorry. Go back to work. I was born here in Sweden. I speak English as well. Perfect. She doesn't speak one word of English. Yes, she does. Beg her. Ask her. I don't force her. Ask her. I don't force her. That's why you people from other people. Yeah, that's right. I'm an American. It's an American English language. So was I. It's none of your business when I'm talking to her.
None of your
business. Do you understand? I will insult her so she speaks to a customer in English. That ass.
Why do you say I asked? Why?
When I come into a store, if you speak English, I'll speak it. There she is, right there.
I got you here. I knew it over here.
Because you speak Spanish.
No, I speak the both.
She did not speak English, and I'm going to try my best to get her fired.
I'm going to
try. This is my country, not yours.
No, what?
Not yours.
Girl, I got to. Bitch, you don't own this fucking country, ho. You's the immigrant as well, Miss Mamas. The only people that were native to this land before Christopher Columbus came over here and pissed all over it, girl, was the Native Americans. So if Eduardo gotta go, you gotta go too. With this motherfucking wrinkled ass wolf pussy you got. See, Lord, white Jesus, I'm talking white Jesus. White Jesus, please don't allow no Karen to try me, girl, because I'm going to go viral for all the right reasons. I'm not going to put my hands on her, baby, But the way I'm going to use my words, girl, it will be a motherfucking Mortal Kombat brutality combo on this bitch, girl. A good combo. It's going to be a combo. If you have a problem with somebody who does not speak English, you can go ahead and go to somebody else in the store and say, hey, I need some assistance. Or what you could do is you can pull up Google Translate and work with that person. But to sit up here and to tell this person, USA, USA, this is not Cuba, USA, USA, you speak English to work here, you speak English to work here. No, bitch, you go find another English-speaking motherfucker to help you with your shit. You don't sit up here and mess with somebody who is doing their damn job and trying to survive. And again, there are people that go to Home Depot that are bilingual. You don't have to be. Move along. See, I'd be so glad that these situations do not happen when I'm around because, baby, I'm gonna have to put on my humanity shoes. Because I would have let that lady know about her damn self. Don't you sit up here and talk about, oh, this is my country, this is my country. Bitch, how is it your country? What have you done? What brick have you laid down in this mug? What have you done to contribute to American society? Besides being a vulture of it. But wait, there's more.
No, yo lo voy a hacer. No, yo lo voy a grabar. Ella me está pendiente. Bueno. Pero ¿por qué no lo sacan de la tienda? Llámate a los proyectos.
María, please. Vamos por aquí.
Yes, sir. Americans against Hispanics.
No, America is the all people, my lady. The all people. Maybe you are.
Jesus Christ is.
And continue with the racism. This is Camp Call Out. And no shade, let me go one screen, big screen real quick. Camp Call Out. I am a gay man. But you is one fine ass motherfucking woman. You is fine as hell. I look at Camp Call Out and I'm ready to call out my own sexuality, girl, cause she is gorgeous to me. She is fine. And I'ma say this to her, like I be telling these niggas. As long as I have a face, you will always have a place to sitteth. Okay? But anyway, we're gonna go back to the Camp Call Out video where there is a person that is running, of course, to be a part of the government who is an American, but because he is of a different ethnic background and of a particularly different faith, there are people who are Christians that are saying to him, how can you represent the larger part of America who are Christians when you're a person who does not believe in what we believe, as if though religious freedoms is not an actual thing when it is. People have the right to believe what the fuck they want to believe. If I have to be forced to believe what you believe, then what you believe is not really real. Anyway, let's continue.
God, and there's no other God. He's a part of the Holy Trinity, and any other God is a demon, and it's false. How can you represent the constituents of Ohio who are 64% Christian if you are not a part of that faith? If you are an Indian, a Hindu, coming from a different culture, different religion than those who founded this country, those who grew this country, built this country, made this country the beautiful thing that it is today, what are you conserving? You are bringing change. I'll be 100% honest with you. Christianity is the one truth.
Christian voices should be the main voice of America, and I want to know, basically, why you seem to be, and I don't mean to be horribly offensive, but why you seem to be masquerading as a Christian.
That is Vivek Ramaswamy coming face to face with the monsters that he helped create. Vivek is running for governor of Ohio, and he was speaking at this Turning Point USA event, talking about how he's going to run for governor, and one by one, those kids came up and told him, we don't want you to lead us because you are Hindu, because you're not Christian. Not only that, I'd also argue that Vivek Ramaswamy knows that he's not one of them, and he's actively trying to fit in to be one of them. If you take a look here, this is Vivek at the event wearing makeup that is like 10 shades too light for his skin tone because of how much he is trying to fit in. I don't know what to say this is what you created. You shouldn't be surprised that these people don't want to vote for you based off of your RACE and your religion. That's kind of the whole entire crux of the Christian conservative value party that you've been upholding this whole entire time. Are you surprised that they're turning on you now? It's really hilarious. My name is Mercedes Chandler. Give me a follow or you won't see my face again. Thank you. Goodbye.
Baby, I'll follow you wherever you want to go. I'll follow you wherever you want to go. Look at some of your comments. Queen CB says it's the entitlement and privilege for me. Also said these Trump voters, y'all better leave black and brown people the hell alone, period. On period to period. No shade. Again, this individual was trying to connect with the in group, the hot group, and no shade. What Maga has done for the longest time has been planned for the longest time. This has been happening for a few decades now, planning behind the scenes. Again, check out the documentary The Family on Netflix. Okay, like Queen Stevie said, find out about Manifest Destiny, the different, I forgot how many number of mandates or mountain mandates, whatever it's called that there is, Project 2025, Project Esther. Like, these people literally told us what they're gonna do. And there are people who literally believe that what they stated they were gonna do was not gonna happen. And then it's happening and they're still perplexed by it all. I mean, did we not just forget, and I forgot to put this in here as well, as Miss Taylor Greene, girl, who got that face that looked like the face of that man from Sons of Anarchy with the head Hellboy looking bitch, her, that now she's decided to go ahead and say that the Democrats were right, and that there's some fishy shit going on in the trauma administration, and the fact that, no shade, I'm going to believe here, okay, allegedly, that she saw DT's name on the Epstein list. Like, this is what happens when you follow your ego only. This is what happens when you are just money hungry and capitalistic only. People be so driven by money, fame, success, and control, and become so drunk in that shit that they end up fucking themselves up. And what they want to do is the fact that because we, the ones that are aware, the ones that are doing our due deals, the ones that educate ourselves, that research, to study to show ourselves approved, the ones that actually do that, guess what? They are trying to silence us because our voices continues to allow the bell of truth to ring in their ears, and they can't handle it and they can't take it. And instead of actually owning it and being that one word we all love to say but nobody likes being, girl, accountable, instead of doing that and building reconciliation through reparations and remunerations, if I'm not mistaken, that's how Amanda Seales said it, if I'm not mistaken, instead of doing the right thing, they want to sit up here and they want to try to destroy us, as if though if they destroy us, our message is going to die out. If anything, it's just going to get stronger and louder and brighter than before, because every knee shall bow, bitch. Every tongue shall confess, ho. And that is not to your God, but to truth, objective truth, the spiritual laws that transcend whatever belief system you believe, because those laws believe in all of us, regardless of how we interpret it. And now they're finding out. But American citizens, it's not just those niggas finding out. Of course, like I said, they have to silence all of us, or they want to silence all of us. So what we're about to see now is how ICE is dealing with the public. Not dealing with criminals who have a long record and a track record of chaos and destruction. Nothing objectively factual. These people are now being turned on the American citizens who do not agree with the agenda of this administration, which only cares about wealthy, white, and Jesus, girl. Those things, wealthy, white, and Jesus, those things. WWJD, not what would Jesus do, but white, wealthy, Jesus, and destruction. This is what these hoes operate on. Don't believe me? Take a look for yourself. That's Don Lemon outside saying that they are continuing to corner protesters. Let's continue.
Dragging people by the feet. So the police have began pushing protesters out. They're doing this prior to the 6 o'clock curfew. This has been an ongoing standoff for about, I'd say, 15 minutes now. They told us earlier if we didn't disperse right then, they would arrest us. But I don't know why they gave the dispersal order, because we have until 6 to protest. They have never explained that. So things are getting pretty tense between police and protesters. It would appear that they're just trying to agitate and escalate. I hope nobody gives them a free arrest, because that's what they want. They want to arrest people so that you can't be out tracking ICE agents, interrupting ICE stops, protecting the citizens, protecting neighborhoods. They want to arrest you so you can't come back tomorrow and protest. So I hope nobody gives them a free arrest, but this is currently what's happening right now.
You will be charged the same! You will be charged the same! The neighborhood is you will be charged the same! We are peaceful protesters!
All right, they're now pushing them. All right, somebody's on the block. Dragging people by the feet. They're dragging people across the ground. I can't get it. Look. Pull them out! Pull them out. Pull them out. Pull her 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 out. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. Right here. Grab. There we go. Gotta grab him. Right, let's see if we got arrested. They got people arrested. I don't know what for. I don't know. I couldn't tell. Hey, it's still ongoing. They got more arrests. This video's already hit 3 minutes. I'll post another video, follow up very soon.
Yep. Well, first of all, shout out to white Americans who are using their privilege to be able to stand in the gap, because if there were people of color out there largely, that whole peaceful protest situation would have went a lot differently. Their privilege, even though the privilege is dwindling, because again, the Maga or the Trump administration is making white people choose. Either you choose your privilege or you choose them. And there are white people who understand the construct of their privilege, and therefore are doing the right humanitarian thing by standing in the gap and actually practicing empathy, which I had heard from some chick who looked like she drinks pumpkin spice latte, wears goddamn perfume for Forever 21 and Bath and Body Works, and is listening to Taylor Swift's latest album, Girl, saying that there's something known as toxic empathy. If I sit up here and I allow myself to feel emotionally how you feel, and I sit up here and affirm your life or affirm your life expression or identity, then I'm participating in toxic empathy. Bitch, what? No, the toxic empathy would be to sit here and empathize ICE agents who, despite a government shutdown and motherfuckers being furloughed and stuff, they are seen as essential workers who have all types of incentives to join that program. But again, shout out to the Jolly Ginger. I think that was his name. Shout out to him. Shout out to Don Lemon. Shout out to other individuals that are boots on the ground. And also, if you're going to participate in protest, or if there are ICE agents around you, always make sure that you have your phone and to record. Explain what's happening to you as you're being recorded. Explain what's happening at the scene. Be as descriptive as possible. Either record or live stream or do whatever you can to be able to make sure that you have that archived in case they try to do something to your phone. Because now this is dealing with the American people. If you have American people that are standing in the gap for oppressed groups of people, that should be a sign to the fucking administration that the people don't want the shit that you are forcing them to do. They don't want that. And that is what happens. This is what happens when you have individuals who are capitalistic, who are money hungry, who have a cream mentality. Cash rules everything around me. Individuals that are used to selling people stuff. This is what happens when these millionaires and billionaires and trillionaires start to get into positions of power and positions of influence to where they literally can use their money to control people's fucking livelihood. And it's not even based off of anything in truth. It's based solely on fear and ignorance and the idea that they want their old, outdated thing. You bastards are stagnant. You guys want to go back to 1950s and 60s and remix a little bit of the 80s with that shit so fucking bad. Y'all are so caught up and so deep off in this shit in reference to the karmic debt that a lot of you hoes are afraid to pay, bitch, that you're adding more interest on top of the debt that you already owe. Shit been happening for 400 plus fucking years. And again, shout out to the white people who are aware enough to be able to clock the tea, to be able to clock the truth, and to, yes, practice empathy, because guess what? The person and the people that you're seeing that's going to be detained by ICE and shit like that, that can be any of us. And for you niggas that sit up here and say, well, they won't do that to black people, they're only doing that to illegal immigrants, stay tuned. There's a video for you hoes too.
Tu nombre es my unrestricted. Tu nombre es Señor, ¡me está buscando!
Wait, you guys came to the school to do this?
Do you have a warrant? They haven't asked for a warrant. My name is Jocelyn from Cicero. They don't have a warrant. They didn't ask for one. They forcefully opened the door of the truck. It was locked. It was locked.
You're going to record this. Don't get any closer for me, alright? Like, cool? Just stay back, please. You're being arrested for the
Yeah, but you guys came to the school?
They forced us out of the car. They were following us. They were uncensored.
Whoa.
I had to remove the video, the music for this video because it had a song underneath it. But this basically says them doing it the legal way. The legal way. They done dragged the woman out of her fucking car without a warrant, without any warning. All those men for her. See all these individuals, see all these white men. Well, there's a black man now. You know you're gonna have a few of them in there. The black man trying to be somewhat understanding, I guess, and talk to him color to color. But these white men, they don't give a fuck about that. Look at that. That is the quote-unquote legal way they're doing it. If you're going to operate by the standards of the United States, aren't people innocent until proven guilty in the court of law? But again, if you can classify these people, if you can get the collective consciousness to agree that these people are illegal immigrants, that they're dangerous, that they part of MS-13, even though these hoes can't read past a 6th grade fucking level anyway. If you can fear-base these people into believing that these people are the dangerous ones, then shit like this can happen where no one will do nothing about it. And I need y'all to understand that that can be any one of us, especially those of us who consider themselves activists. Regardless of what level we are on the pyramid of activism, we're still on that bitch. So since we're still on that bitch, girl, they want to get the whole pyramid. Which means that me, being an individual that uses my platform for the past few years to be able to document queerphobia in the black community, and now at a greater scale outside the black community, that by me doing this, by me recording, by me recollecting this stuff, is a danger to them. And look at how they're just handling these people. Just look at how they're handling them. Doing it the legal way. Look at this. Look at this. These people came over here looking for a better life, and they throwing them out. But yet don't want to give nothing to the motherfuckers that built this country, though. That's the funny part to me. Very interesting. Very interesting. Again, them doing it the legal way. The legal way, y'all. Y'all see it? Mm-hmm. And this is not Gestapo-like tactics, right? Look at this. You can't sit up here and say that these individuals stole shit. They done popped somebody. They done unalive somebody. They done ran somebody over. They done sold somebody some damn fentanyl and the damn baby died or something. There's nothing that they can bring up in reference to any sort of destructions to validate, to justify why they're arresting these people. It is simply based on how the fuck they look. They are judging people based on how they look and how they talk, if they have an accent or not. And automatically assuming that these individuals are illegal immigrants without any information. But we're dealing with Maga here. These are tinfoil hat wearing bastards who can't read, who are fear-based as fuck. And instead of educating themselves, they would rather, as it was stated earlier by, I forgot her name, who were talking about men who are not being asked to upgrade mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So the only thing they can do is be physical in a means to control people. But again, for you black motherfuckers that is watching, that sitting here talking about, oh, well, it's just the illegal immigrants, it's not us. Even though this is not ICE, this is still police, girl. So if you think ICE is out here detaining and arresting illegal immigrants, you think that they not about to get a little bit of slice of some nigga shit too? Because that's what they really want to get to, is the nigga shit. Because they're still mad that our ancestors escaped slavery. That wasn't part of the program. That wasn't part of the assignment. And that's why I say, even though this is happening in real life, whenever you're doing anything live, I don't give a fuck how much money you have, how much time you rehearse the shit, there will always be technical difficulties. And with those technical difficulties, we can shift the narrative. Because there, as the title says, this stage is already set for them. They're setting the stage for them to be able to manifest what they want. And the only way that they're going to successfully manifest what they want is if we play along into it, which is why they have to force us into it. And like Homelander, I say this all the time, Homelander said on one of my shows called The Boys, I would prefer to be loved, worshipped, and adored organically. But if you motherfuckers ain't finna give me that, I will take the next best thing, which is I will control you and force you through fear to love, honor, and obey me. And if you have to serve someone out of fear alone, that's not somebody worth serving. The fuck? But yes, let's take a look at what happens when black people, girl, get arrested and get handled and shit like that. Especially in this social climate. Again, this is not for the faint of heart, but if you're watching my shit, I hope that your heart is getting stronger, bitch, because you're gonna need heart to get through this. Let's take an unfortunate listen.
You got me fucked up! You gonna punch me? You gonna hit me? You gonna hit me? You gonna hit me?
You got somebody else to go?
No, please, please, please.
What's the number? What's her number? What's her number?
707. Hey, you hiding my arm!
707.
You hiding me!
She's going to jail. You went too far. You got it, man. That's the devil, okay? That's the devil. That police officer is the devil. Okay? That's the devil. Hey, y'all, I gotta move this line.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Get the fuck off of that lady! You ain't screaming like a man, right? Oh my God! You is wrong! You is wrong!
And y'all, it's this old ass chair that sound like this. I'm not farting. I want to know what justified all that. How did this transpire? What happened? What is the details that we don't know about in reference to why this individual had to resort to this level of aggression with this woman? And the fact that black people were sitting by and allowing this to happen. Let me tell you something. A motherfucker jump on my mom or my dad or my sister trying to harm them, girl, I guess I will be seeing my grandfather and my grandmother and Martin Luther King and them, girl, because I would have had to whoop that police officer's ass. No shade. I would have had to take his billy club and hit this bitch in the back of his neck. No shade. You're not finna sit up here and beat someone or try to attack someone that I fucking love, and you don't have any right for that? Or any justification for that? Now, shout out to her getting with his ass, though. She was getting with his ass, girl. But if you gonna hit a bitch in the nose, girl, because their eyes are water up. Hit a bitch in their throat, girl, so they can't breathe. Punch a bitch in their sternum, girl. Fuck up their diaphragm, bitch. Punch a bitch, I don't know what this is right here, on the right side underneath your small rib. Hit a bitch there, girl, to go down. He's a man. You can't mix with the nuts. Hit the bitch in the nuts. Kick the nigga kneecap in till it comes out the back like a bipedal ass dinosaur or a dog or something. Do something. Well, there were some people saying, well, maybe you shouldn't resist arrest. Don't resist arrest. Don't resist arrest. You got to be open about what you're arresting me for. Because we're in a social climate now. There is a certain narrative going on now. And for the police officers and ICE agents who feel some type of way about people recording, well, if you were doing your job, you wouldn't have to feel like that. But again, we understand what this is because we have done our research. They say history repeats itself, where there are some people who are learning cycles throughout history and seeing the cycles. Like, girl. Deshaun says, shout out to Deshaun in the building, y'all. And Twan says he has a crush on her as well. We got to fight me for her then, because baby, Camp Carlisle is probably one of the only few women that I would probably experiment for. Deshaun says, yeah, the way that cop punched her and then threw her like that made me so angry. He needs to get fired, but unfortunately it's police immunity, so they can't get in trouble for their bullcrap. Oh girl, but I have somebody here, girl. Who gonna be calling them ICE niggas out, girl? No shade. Deshaun also says because now under Trump, because now under the the crow's feet of Trump, they can do whatever they want, whatever they like, without any repercussions, and you can't do nothing about it. We're nothing but peasants to them. There was a black man that also was unalive from a seizure because I believe a police officer ignored him when he was having an attack, so they had him stay in the room while he had that. I think I saw that. I think you shared that. He had a seizure and unfortunately succumbed to that. And I already talked about D'Angelo earlier. You're looking thank you. Oh my God, y'all be so funny. Y'all be trying to sop up the BubzDaGawd, girl. But let's continue, because like that right there pissed me off, because it's like if I like when I saw her, I imagined my mom or my sister like being thrown down to the ground. Police officers are supposed to be public servants, not private servants, but public servants. And white America and white police, y'all already know the history with black people. So if you're trying to do some real shit, wouldn't the smart thing to do would be able to build reconciliation and trust with the black community, to talk to the black community? And when people talk about defund the police, when they mean defund the police, they're simply talking about, instead of militarizing the police, like ICE, militarizing law enforcement to a government enforcement thing, or as we see it, as a private military group for Mr. DT. But to use those resources to actually help police officers so that they don't end up putting themselves in more danger, because now they have conflict resolution skills besides just using a pew-pew or using a baton or using a fist or an elbow or a knee to the back of the neck, that you can use your words to disengage a situation. That when police are being called to certain type of situations, let's say for example, it's a domestic situation that is becoming violent, they can have, and this is probably the wrong term, but someone like a social worker to be able to come in who deals with conflict resolution, or a conflict resolutor or something. Okay, a mediator of a sort will be able to join them on this program, so that, on this call, so that they can go to that place and disengage it without there being any harm, or little to no harm as possible. But again, these people don't want to talk. They don't want to have conversations. They don't want to learn. They don't want to be open-minded. They are fear-based. They're insecure, and because they are in that low vibrational stage, low vibrational thinking and experiencing and being, they are going to do the one thing that they've been doing, which is being violent. And it's funny to me because it's like a lot of white America sits up here and says, oh well, I don't want critical race theory, I don't want all these things happening because I don't want my white children to feel bad about what our forefathers have done to other groups of people, while in the same fucking breath, literally doing the same things that the forefathers that they are so ashamed of has done their doing. So yes, I guess you ain't got to tell your white son or daughter or niece or nephew or cousin or whatever about their feelings and the horrible atrocities that our forefathers did. I don't know if y'all trying to rectify that shit with AI, whatever the case may be, but y'all are literally doing that. Y'all are literally damaging America right now. And these same people who sit up here and talk about, oh, America first, well, I'm an American, and get out of my fucking country. Okay then, bitch, get your ass out there in the soybean fields and show us how it's done. Why don't you go pick crops and show us how it's done? You've told black people and other oppressed groups of people to pull themselves up by their fucking bootstraps, bitch. Can we see how y'all do that? This is the time for y'all to be able to show. But again, we see how y'all showing, which is nothing new. And one thing that I forgot to add into this live, because I was trying to put all this together today, y'all. Shout out to the Short Stack Revolution, because if it was not for them, baby, a lot of these lives we wouldn't even have, because they be giving me the information. So again, shout out to the Short Stack. But now, Turning Point's Blexit, which is the love child, the bastard child of Turning Point USA, is now starting or wanting to start to tour at HBCUs. So when Charlie got Kurt, girl, before he got Kurt, there were people there, a large amount of people at the campus that he was at that literally said, we don't want him here. So if the Mayo people are saying, we don't want him here, why do y'all think it's smart for y'all to go to HBCUs and try to have conversations with black conservative people at a HBCU? What's gonna happen? They gonna go to the HBCU, Officer Tatum gonna go, Candace Owens, some of people gonna go, and what? Are they gonna be popped next? And if they get popped next, what's gonna happen? I told you those black people were dangerous. Well, that's what they do. They do. Girl, this is real life. And this is Halloween, bitch. Halloween. Look at y'all comments. Deshaun says, well, this is what these white people have always wanted to do for a long time. It's because they want to have dominance and to have that control over black people and also black women. So why not join the police force? I mean, they tried to, make other people suffer as civilians, but it wasn't going to work like that. They want to become police officers or ICE. In ICE, it's just getting worse, because it was another video of a black man getting pinned down, and the woman was like, why are you doing this? That's my stepbrother, and he said it's none of your biz. Wow. You better get back. And the other ICE guy was saying, get the fuck back, trying to act all tough, and everyone else cussing them out. Wow. Baby, and no shade, I'll be having scary conversations with myself, like, what if that's me? What if ICE shows up to my house one day because I'm quote unquote on the list? Am I just gonna let them take me? What if they sit up here and try to detain one of my family members based off of some stupid shit? Am I going to let them? Because again, it's that fear. Did you hear, like, when those people were being ripped away and slammed to the ground, how much screaming there was? How when that video of that black woman getting slammed down to the ground, how there were black children. One black kid was walking past with his backpack over his head, covering his ears. Because they want us to comply. Well, do what we say, do what we say. You gotta let me know what the hell going on first before you talk about do what you say. Because again, the narrative that's out there, and if you hate the narrative that is out there about police officers and about ICE, then do the right thing and change it the organic way, as opposed to this fear-based, piss-po, Law Street job-ass way of trying to get this shit done. But let's continue, y'all. My bad. I want to read this real quick to y'all. Let me put this down. Again, shout out to y'all comments. Excuse me, pull this up. As you can see on the screen, it says Ron DeSantis. Okay, Ron DeSantis. Okay, destroys rainbow-colored crosswalk in South Beach. This is from Here's Why, Kevin. Let me pull this up. because I thought I had it on my other thing. Give me 1 second, y'all. Make sure you hit that like button. Here we go. Rick DeSantis destroys rainbow-colored crosswalk in South Beach, and it reads, again from the Here's Why It's Kevin Instagram page, it reads, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis continued his anti-LGBTQ crusade in the state of Florida. First Orlando, then West Palm Beach, and now Miami Beach. The Department of Transportation yesterday took a bulldozer and destroyed the rainbow-colored Pride crosswalk at the corner of Ocean Drive and 12th Street in the South Beach area. This part of the beach is a famous hangout spot for the queer community. It's just 2 blocks from the Twist nightclub, the oldest queer club in Miami. So here it is, queer people in their own spaces, and these bastards are so motherfucking dick hungry, girl, to get rid of queer experiences, girl, at least publicly, because they want to fuck the shit out of us behind the closed doors, bitch. But now they're removing queer things from queer people, all based off of a lie and a certain type of ideology about something that they can't even explain, nor can they manifest, nor do they walk in the power of. But that's not it. That's not all, girl. Okay, let's continue. Texas transgender bathroom ban set to take effect in December. Okay, this is from the Gay magazine. Okay, and this is an article that they have. It says Texas Governor Greg Abbott's bathroom bill will ban transgender people from public restrooms starting December 4th of this year. On September 22nd, Governor Greg Abbott signed Senate Bill 8 into law, making Texas the latest and arguably the harshest state to codify discrimination against transgendered and non-gender conforming people under the banner of privacy or privacy for some of you bougie ass bitches. No shade. Girl, y'all is commenting. The new law set to take effect in December 4th, forces public schools, universities, government buildings, libraries, and domestic violence shelters to restrict bathroom access based on sex assigned at birth. It levies fines starting at $25,000 and escalating to a whopping $125,000 for repeat violations, making it the most financially punitive bathroom bill in the nation, bitch. Quote, "This isn't about bathrooms. This is about control," said Andrea Segovia, Senior Field and Policy Analysis for Transgender Education Network of Texas. Quote, "It's about telling trans people where they can exist and where they can't." For more than a decade, Texas lawmakers have tried and failed to pass bathroom legislation. But in 2017, massive public resistance, corporate pressure, and activist organizing blocked the first attempt. But this year, okay, under the cover of a special session, bitch, called in the wake of historic flooding, SB 8 surged forward with little resistance from business interests that once claimed to be allies. The Texas House of Representatives approved the bill in August on a 86-45 vote after hours of raucous, girl, hours of some trifling ass debate. Protesters were removed from the gallery after shouting down lawmakers backing the bill. A last-minute amendment from Republican Representative Steve Toff raised penalties to unprecedented levels, while supporters like Representative Angelia or R. Itasca, girl, framed the legislation as a protection for women's safety and comfort. Opponents argued the measure will only incite harassment and violence. Quote, "Who do you think is more uncomfortable in the bathroom today? A cis woman or a trans woman wondering if she's about to be harassed?" Asked Representative Aaron Zwiner, D. Driftwood, y'all, these names. Quote, "This bill is cruelty dressed up as protection," said Representative Jessica Gonzalez, D. Dallas, who shared her own experience being harassed for using a women's restroom at the Capitol. Quote, "It is designed to make trans people unsafe, unseen, and unwanted. SB 8 doesn't just police bathrooms. It attempts to shield itself from the law itself. The legislation grants sovereign immunity. The legislation grants sovereign immunity to the state, governmental immunity to cities, and qualified immunity to officials who implemented an unprecedented legal architecture designed to make the law nearly untouchable in court. It also centralizes appeals to the 15th Court of Appeals, whose judges were appointed by Abbott." Quote, "This is the most plainly unlawful, undemocratic legislation I've seen in recent history," said Nicholas Haidt, senior attorney at Lambda Legal. Quote, "They're not just targeting trans people. They're trying to close the courthouse doors on anyone who dares to fight back. The legal barricade is a blueprint. It's the state signaling that it's not only willing to legislate hate, but to protect that hate from consequence. SB 8 does not create criminal penalties for individuals. Instead, it punishes institutions, public schools, libraries, shelters that align trans people to use bathrooms aligning with their gender identity. Enforcement depends on complaints filed with the Attorney General's office, enabling anyone to report alleged violations. It's a system that encourages strangers to surveil bodies, weaponizing suspicion." Quote, "This is a vigilant state," Segovia said. "They're turning neighbors into informants. They want trans people to live under constant fear of being reported just for using the restroom." Zep Capo, president of the Texas AFT, warned that this will foster hostile environments in schools. Quote, "Are complaints going to be chasing people down in bathrooms?" he asked. "That sounds hostile to me, and it's not clear how far this could go." The reach of SB 8 extends to domestic violence shelters, barring anyone assigned male at birth from accessing women's shelters unless they are minors accompanied by their mothers. Quote, "When you call the hotline, it is often the moment before you believe you will die," said Molly Voiles, director of public policy at Texas Council on Family Violence. Quote, "This law punishes survivors, trans and cis, who are already in crisis. The bill's incarceration provisions also require to house individuals based on sex assigned at birth, a move legal experts say likely violates the Prison Rape Elimination Act." Ash Hall of ACLU of Texas said, quote, "We cannot ignore the lives of trans people behind bars. This is an open door to violence." When Texas tried to pass a bathroom bill in 2017, major corporations spoke out loudly, helping to kill it. This time, the silence is deafening as fuck. With anti-trans policies now openly supported by the federal government under Donald Trump, state leaders face fewer risks. The absence of corporate opposition shows how quickly inclusion slogans evaporate when profit isn't threatened. You see how I got this motherfucker on the screen, girl, with these hundreds? Throwing hundreds. Quote, "Companies love to wrap themselves in rainbow flags and Junes," Segovia said. "But when it matters most, when it fucking matters most, they vanish." This wave of anti-trans legislation sweeping the country is not about bathrooms or locker rooms or sports teams. It's about creating a climate of state-sanctioned humiliation and strategic erasure. It's about telling trans people they are too visible, too human, too free, and punishing them for daring to live. These bills are not acts of governance. They are acts of violence in legislative form. They weaponize bureaucracy to make oppression look orderly. The cruelty is not incidental. It is the point. SB 8 is not simply policy. It's a warning flare to trans Texans that we see you and we intend to make your existence unbearable. But it is also a mirror showing us how fragile and cowardly power becomes when confronted with people who refuse to disappear. SB 8 joins a growing network of laws in Republican-led states that target trans communities while pushing enforcement into local institutions. Schools, shelters, and libraries are left holding the bag, forced to choose between compliance and conscience. Quote, "This is about shrinking public space," said Jacob Reyes of GLAAD. They want trans people out of schools, out of shelters, out of libraries. But trans Texans are part of our families, our classrooms, our communities. We've always been here. Legal challenges are unfortunately inevitable, though the law's immunity provisions are designed to slow them. In the meantime, trans organizers and allies are preparing, building rapid response legal networks, expanding mutual aid, and creating safety systems outside the state's reach. Quote, "Bathroom bills have never been about bathrooms," Segovia said. "They're about deciding who gets to exist in public. But we know how to take care of each other. We've been doing it long before they write their hate into law. History will not look kindly on this shit, no shade. SB 8 is one more scar on the American legal body, proof that hatred can definitely wear a suit and tie, walk into a state house, and call itself governance. But trans Texans, like trans people everywhere, are not fragile. They are fire. They are archive. And they are proof that survival is an art. Texas may have chosen cruelty, but the people will choose each other, bitch. And I put the bitch part there last, girl. No shade. And before we get done with this segment here, before I look at y'all comment sections, okay, because Deshaun is always going to be the MVP of the chat, bitch. No shade. SCOTUS appears poised to strike down conversion therapy bans. Here's what we know from opening arguments. This is again from them, all right? And it reads here. In the Childs versus Salazar case, the future of bans against the harmful practice could be in jeopardy. The U.S. Supreme Court may rule against the Colorado law banning conversion therapy for children under 18, with the court's conservative majority expressing skepticism about the law during oral arguments this week. The court began the hearings on Tuesday in the Childs versus Salazar case, in which mental health counselor Kaylee Childs, or Chile, I'm gonna say Childs girls, is arguing that Colorado's ban on conversion therapy, also referred to as reparative, ex-gay, or gender exploratory therapy. Check out my video SCD in reference to ex-gay people on my channel. Make sure y'all check it out here because we get into it. All right. I'm just arguing that the Colorado's ban on this type of therapy violates her First Amendment right to free speech. Child denies using aversion techniques long associated with conversion therapy, such as electroshocks, and claims that the state law, which does not apply to religious counselors, improperly regards her conversations with clients as professional conduct, because she provides only talk therapy for minor clients to accept the bodies that God has given them and find peace, Childs argued in her petition to the court. Colorado may not restrict that speech because states may not impose viewpoint-based restrictions on a professional speech. Speaking to Colorado Solicitor General Shannon Stevenson, during oral arguments, Justice Samuel Alito said the statute, quote, looks like blatant viewpoint discrimination. The law, Alito said, quote, dictates opposite results based on the viewpoint expressed, making it legal to encourage minors to accept homosexuality, but not to push them to reject it, even though, bitch, the church already does that. What the fuck these hoes trying to do with this case in reference to their religious freedoms, girl? We see how the church deals with queer people. Y'all don't deal with them. But anyway, where we at? The court has previously held that viewpoint discrimination is an egregious violation of the First Amendment, permissible only in specific circumstances, such as when the government itself is the speaker. Alito also went on to cast doubt on the reliability of medical experts, who overwhelmingly report that conversion therapy carries lasting harm and trauma. Again, check out my spiritually cognitive dissonance video dealing with ex-gay people and people who were queer still in organized religion, baby. When they talk about that lasting harm and trauma, that shit is real. Quote, have there been times when the medical consensus has been politicized, has been taken over by ideology? Alito asked Stevenson, going on to quote Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes' infamous 1927 Buck versus Bell ruling, which declared 3 generations of imbeciles are enough when justifying forced sterilizations. Supreme Court analyst Ian Millhiser called Alito's comparison facile, I believe that's the word, on Vox this week, noting that Buck centered on a woman who was forcibly sterilized while incarcerated in a government facility. Lord have mercy. Chief Justice John Roberts appeared similarly skeptical of the Colorado law and of Stevenson's arguments that counselor speech should be regulated as professional conduct. Quote, just because they are engaged in conduct doesn't mean their words aren't protected, Roberts said. Stevenson responded saying that in the very specific context of treatment, laws regulating a medical professional's speech are fundamentally different than those affecting the general public. As NBC News reported, only Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson appeared to be sympathetic to all of Colorado's arguments for upholding the ban. Questioning one attorney for the plaintiffs, Jackson brought up the U.S. versus Skrmetti, in which the court ruled earlier this year that states may ban gender-affirming medical care for minors. In Skrmetti, in Skrmetti, we had a state that wanted to prohibit certain medical treatment, gender-affirming care, being given to minors in the form of medication, Jackson said. And we said that was okay. Here, we have a state that wants to prohibit gender-related medical treatment in the form of talk therapy, but now we have the First Amendment that is inhibiting the state's ability to do that. And I'm just, from a very, very broad perspective, concerned about making sure that we have equivalence with respect to these things. Childs is represented in the case by the Alliance Defending Freedom, a far-right legal organization designed as an anti-queer hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center. The ADF has been accused of fabricating claims on behalf of their clients to advance cases that threaten queer rights. 2 scholars cited in the ADF's Childs briefs told The Guardian this week that The Guardian, shout out to them, that the ADF had profoundly profoundly misinterpreted their research on human sexuality by claiming that sexual orientation changes for many people. Clifford Roski, a University of Utah professor who worked on Colorado's ban, called being cited by the ADF, quote, the most upsetting use of my scholarship that has ever happened in my career. Though the court's conservative majority appears poised to rule against Colorado, what could happen next remains unclear. As Millhiser noted for Vox, the court could return the case to a lower court and require that the ban be analyzed through strict scrutiny, the most demanding legal test of a law's constitutionality. But if enough justices are in favor, the court could instead rule that states may not place restrictions on medical providers' speech, which would have dramatic implications for similar laws across the country. Currently, conversion therapy is banned from minors in 23 states and the District of Columbia, according to the data from the Movement Advancement Project. Quote, and this is the last part, y'all. It is unimaginable to see fringe practices that have been debunked, discredited, and known to cause harm for decades now being debated before our country's highest court, says James Black, CEO of the LGBTQ youth suicide prevention nonprofit The Trevor Project, in a statement Tuesday. Quote, therapists can and do help young people navigate and understand their identity, but they should not be allowed to pressure youth toward a specific outcome, such as changing their sexual orientation or gender. And if that is the fucking case, guess the fuck what? There will be more Donnie McClurkins, there will be more Jackie Hill Perrys, more Rashad Vermeys, and the like. Let me look at y'all comments real quick before we continue on with it. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all share. If y'all feel compelled, y'all can definitely hit that Cash App, no shade, for your leprechaun boy. Thank you, kindly, thank you. Okay? Let's take a look at the comments real quick. I ain't gonna put all these comments to Sean, baby. You was commenting down. You know, like I said, this is all, this is all they single out sexuality for profit. That is all that it is. And not only that, population control so that people can live a lie. That's basically what it is. Let's see what else we got here. I'm going to tell you, the Bible is a lie when it comes to sexuality. And I keep telling you, King James was a gay man that wrote the Bible. So they're worshiping a gay man that oppressed other gay people. Make sure y'all keep that in mind, because it's very interesting you brought up King James or Queen James, girl, because I have a clip for you when it talks about queerness in the Bible. That's what I said it is. It's also the Bible when it stated that Sodom and Gomorrah, it had nothing to do with sexuality. It had a lot to do with them having sex with those angels. And it also had a lot to do with them being a city that had an overabundance of shit and they did not share it. They were very greedy. Very much kind of like how a lot of capitalists in America, girl, they want all the money for themselves. They're not righteous at all because, again, trying to do human shit, they've already demonized. So if they say that America is Sodom and Gomorrah, bitch, just look at our government, and those are the individuals who brought the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, if we're gonna really keep it a being. They want to they want out of that freaking Bible, and they want to throw the Bible at you just because you're simply who you are in real life. Who you are, and then they want to turn around and still blame you, even though you're trying to fight the temptation knowing that you cannot fight it because that's who you are. And when the girlfriend finds out about the boyfriend being gay, still gets blamed and says, why did you lie to me? Why did you lie about being gay? Why are you gay? You gay? Ha 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 ha. You gay. You just want to live off of me and pretend like you straight and live your truth and then embarrass him. Now this is destruction within the parents, and there's also destruction within the kid, which is another lower vibrational energy that creates scary environments or situations for the kid if the kid decides to live in their truth. Because remember, there's people that are reincarnated or remember themselves or their past life, and the thing is, the grown-ups are so scared and fear-based. They try to make their kids forget who they are. So they're trying to strike down conversion therapy bans. This goes back to what I said from all the way up in the comments, or what I said, you can't change a person's sexuality. All you're going to do is hook up the mental of that person, of who they are, and hurt themselves and have them hurt other people and probably hurt their kids because they might be be gay. No shade. Everything that you was saying is the truth, Deshaun. No shade. Make sure y'all go ahead and make sure y'all follow Deshaun as well, because baby, Deshaun be giving all the information. Do you hear me? They're so mad that they hate themselves. They hate themselves because of who they are. They don't want no one to know who they are in the world. They're too scared. This is the reason why they're doing this. Well, what's done in the motherfucking light will eventually be dark, will come to the motherfucking light. What's done in the dark must come to
I'm in
the
here.
light. Now, let's keep in mind about that King James, because I want y'all to hear this. Deshaun, I want you to hear this. Remember, let me go ahead and put that comment on the screen real quick about King James. Where we at? Where's it 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 at? I'm just fighting temptation. Take me home. You know you want my love. Take a listen to this video, fam.
In Barnes and Nobles with my kids, right? And I'm in the Bible section, the Christian section. Then I get to the Bible section. Then I get to the kids' Bible section. And look what they trying to do to our kids. Look. Around all these kids' Bibles, they got the queer Bible. We ain't going for that. We ain't doing that. I rebuke that in Jesus' name. We gonna take this. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna violate all the way, but we gonna throw you in the back, bro. You feel me? We ain't about to indoctrinate our children with this foolishness. You feel me? You move this back. You go all the way back. Never to be found. In Jesus' name, stop playing with me.
Okay, well, if that's the motherfucking case, my nigga, you gonna have to throw the Queen James, like it says on the screen, girl. Because the King James has been rumored to be a homosexual himself, or bisexual, whatever sexual he was. He wasn't heterosexual. And then on top of that, there are so many different interpretations, revised Bibles. Get the fuck up out my face. And no shade, you can hide that book. Someone's gonna find that book. Someone's gonna look for that book, because again, it don't have to be for you. But you don't get to control it for everybody the fuck else. Be glad that there is a queer Bible, so that God can also be a part of a queer person's life. See, here it is. There are people that are literally doing the work that some of you hoe ass niggas are afraid to do. Some of you piss poor ass Christians are afraid to do. Be grateful that there are people that are doing stuff that you don't have to do. But let's continue. I just wanted to put that up there, girl, because, you know, they always got something to say about homosexuals, girl. When it comes down to these books and indoctrination, bitch. The gays could never indoctrinate the way that Christians do, bitch. Never. Indoctrination is y'all thing. Control is y'all thing. Bullshit is y'all thing. Let's continue.
Christian nationalism is nothing but a raging hypocrisy, supporting a serial adulterer while screaming biblical marriage, even though the Bible addresses adultery way more often than it addresses same-sex anything, demonizing trans and gay people, saying they're harming kids while viciously defending a list of known child offenders because you know your leader's on it. And the thing is that we know that homosexuality, the way we understand it, is not what they're talking about in the Bible, because the word homosexual didn't exist until the 1860s when we were first starting to understand human sexuality, and it didn't appear in the Bible until 1946, and the ancient sexual ethic was way different than what we understand now. The Bible is a terrible, terrible judge of sexual ethic, considering it supports things like slavery, assault, selling your daughter into sexual slavery. Not great things, and it wasn't what they were talking about in the way that we understand it today. But they don't like that. That's just not convenient for their talking points, because they have to attack a sin that they are not openly committing. But my favorite visual hypocrisy with Christian nationalists is this one. Remember the screaming and crying like a bunch of little babies about masks in 2020? I can't do it, I can't breathe. They don't mind masks. They've never minded masks. In fact, this one right here. This was downtown Nashville, like right outside where I live. I saw these motherfuckers walk by like a bunch of cowards with masks on because they didn't want their job to know that they're a racist piece of flying garbage. They've never had a problem with masks because all of these people are the same people. Because Christian nationalism follows the church ethic of being able to destroy anyone you don't like because God said you could, and promoting white supremacy. It has nothing to do with Christ, who was a Palestinian, by the way.
Baby, if I were these people, I would feel some type of way too, because again, organized religion has been a lie for the longest fucking time. They have duped us. They have played on our emotions. They have played on our intellect. These individuals claim to be connected to a power, but don't ever know how to walk that power out objectively. These same bastards are not going to hospitals and waving their hands past all the people in their rooms, and they're being healed. In the words of Andrew Caldwell, they had the sickness and they shall recover. I'm not seeing these individuals go to funeral homes or morgues or to somebody's house who just recently passed away instead of Lazarus and raise their ass up. The only time these people's faith in God actually manifests is when it's through destruction. These people are working by using the government to erase queer history because of a fucking book. But then once we start saying that your ass is in the book somewhere and we find it, now all of a sudden the enemy knows scripture. Now all of a sudden it's don't trip, he ain't through with me yet, and I'm not through with you either, bitch. Bring that ass here. And I'm sorry, I can't have grace and mercy for people who know what the fuck they're doing. It's one thing if somebody is really, truly, genuinely ignorant and do not know, but when you choose to be willfully ignorant, and a part of me can understand, because when it comes down to organized religion, I was once part of that system, heavily in it. My father was a deacon. I was poised to be a pastor when I was younger. I had other pastors and reverends and deacons wanting me to take up the mantle of being a pastor. But I saw how they treated other pastors, especially other down low queer pastors. So when you've spent the majority of your life being told something, and that thought never being challenged, and then you go out into the world and there is conflict there, and no one's teaching you how to deal with that conflict, this is where the spiritual cognitive dissonance comes into play and how it harms people. There's so much evidence out there. If you've watched my content for the past few years, I have done multiple lives on it. Those same people, Mr. Abbott, we did a live about him where he was trying to stop trans awareness for children, and then was invited to the house of a trans child and talked to the trans child and had to literally lie to the trans child in their face, while still passing these type of laws that are going to harm trans people. And we're not just talking about harming them just mentally and emotionally with the fact of any sort of acknowledgement or awareness or information that might help them to better understand their reality is being removed. Now they're going to have to deal with the physical aspect of being bullied and discriminated. If trans adults are being fined or are having laws written in place to erase the adults, where the fuck do you think that leaves the queer children? And I don't give a damn. Every person that is queer-phobic as fuck grew up with a queer person in their reality somewhere. They had queer peers somewhere. So don't sit up here and tell me that this shit is new or that there's an indoctrination going on, because bitch, queerness has been here. Just like how some of y'all titties as men is here, just like how some of y'all fupas as men is here, the queer shit has been here as well. And the fact that it's 2025 and we still having the same conversations, bruh. The same thing. But let's continue, because this next post speaks about how the black church didn't divide the body of Christ. Racism did. But I will also state that there are some black Christians who also have played into division because they're trying to tap into that white supremacy. Anyway, this is The Black Church Didn't Divide the Body of Christ, Racism Did by Melinda Hale, okay? And it reads, the term black church is not about division. It's about a community that found God during oppression and because the dominant culture refused to welcome them in. And no shade, when our ancestors came from Africa to the shores of this stolen country, the stolen land, girl, some of those ancestors were able to find patrons in the Bible, in Christianity, that shared the same energetic viewpoints or the same symbols of their orishas and their deities back in Africa. So they were able to again find God, source universe consciousness, and everything. And yes, that was a time where black people had to use organized religion in order to be able to stay strong, because again, when you are going through something in your life, you want to have a connection to something outside of you. I think we all do. Well, not all, because there are some people who don't believe anything, but for a lot of us, we believe that there is a greater force out there. So when you are ripped away from your home and they're trying to work to erase or to rebrand you and remake you in their image and their likeness, you're still going to have certain elements and aspects of your old life that you're going to find in your new life, which has helped them. But let's continue further with this. Okay? It also states here, when black people tried to worship in white churches, they were often told to sit in balconies or separate sections, or they simply weren't allowed at all. So they built their own sanctuaries. Just like when there are queer people who have been told that they don't want those type of people in their church. You just heard the old dude say, we're not finna indoctrinate the children. We ain't finna do the shit with the children. We're gonna take all that gay shit and put that shit to the back. And some of the gays said, well, Ken, fuck it, don't worry about it. I'm not gonna sit in the back. I will go somewhere else and have my own worship experience somewhere else, because God's not reside in a building. Okay, he don't reside in a building. At least not a physical one. Okay? But then when these people create their own spaces, it is a fucking problem. Have we not seen videos that I've shared on my platform of individuals who are Christians going up to queer affirming churches and telling them to repent or perish? Like, y'all start shit, but then feel some type of way when we want to finish it. Don't start no shit, won't be no smell. Shout out to Alexander Rogers for that. No shade. It says the African Methodist Episcopal AME Church, the church that raised me, was founded because black Christians were literally pulled off of their knees during prayer in a white church. What's often missing in conversations like this is that when whiteness is the default, it doesn't have to name itself, right? White churches don't have to call themselves white churches because the entire structure of American Christianity was built around white comfort, white norms, and white authority. But when other cultures and ethnicities and communities name themselves, when black, Latino, Asian American, I'm going to add, or queer, Christians create spaces that reflect their lived experiences and their expressions of faith, they're accused of being diverse, exclusive, or idolatrous. If y'all don't get the fuck up out my face with the bullshit. That lack of awareness reveals a deeper problem. Many white Christians don't see that they, too, have a culture. They just mistaken their culture for what? Universality. Didn't we hear that? Didn't we just hear about an individual saying, how can you represent us? And you say that you want to represent Christians, and we believe that that's the one true God, but you believe something else, so how can you represent us? When it's supposed to be America, the land of the free and the home of the fucking brave. A place where there is something known as religious freedoms. You can believe whatever the hell you want to believe, pimpin'. That's the beauty of America. And yes, if y'all want to click that link, y'all can click that link down there. Again, shout out to King Deshaun. I ain't gonna click it because I'm only rocking with what it is I have in the video up here. No shade. We are almost at 2 hours and 30 minutes. I thought this would have been shorter. We got 11 minutes left on this shit. We got a video here from Here Wise Kevin Girl. Eric Trump says MAGA is saving God. Let's take a listen.
And yet here we are, and we have this amazing peace, deal on Charlie Kirk's birthday. I can't tell you how many things are lining up. I mean, think about the fact that this book came out on Charlie Kirk's birthday, on the same day as we have peace in the Middle East. I mean, so many different factors are all coming together at once in the most unthinkable, unbelievable journey. You couldn't have scripted this. You could not, the wildest author could not have scripted this book and the trials and tribulations and twists and turns to get to where we are today. We're saving Christianity. We're saving God. We're saving the family unit. We're saving this nation. I mean, DEI is out the window, Benny. I mean, you no longer have Colin Kaepernick kneeling for the national, for the national anthem. You no longer have, a Budweiser going woke as hell. Or all of this is dead.
And for you kidnapped.
Now, here's a very interesting response here from Mr. Earth. What's his name? Mr. Earth what? Mr. Earth Rebirth. That's his name, Mr. Earth Rebirth. Again, I will put the links for them at a later time. No shade. Who is basically saying, y'all can do that bullshit if you want to. There are some of us who are just gonna be on your ass. There are some of us who are going to be militant, who's going to be like, no, you don't get to sit up here and force your shit on me. And it's so fucking sad because people don't know how to have conversations. People don't know how to regulate their own fucking emotions. I could sit up here and turn this bitch out and upside down with how angry I have felt watching and doing these lives, having to subject myself for educational purposes, for only how I had to deal with the reality that what I've been talking about for the past few years and what I've experienced in my younger years is starting to happen all the fuck over again. And then y'all want to sit up here and get mad at the people who know the signs, who can see the signs, who can clock the fucking signs. And this individual here clocked the sign. So let's continue to take a listen.
Known as ICE agents. Understand this. You will never be forgiven for your crimes. Ever. The soldiers, I can understand. They took an oath. They're duty bound to be there. They can't just quit. You could reclass tomorrow and go work for FEMA or do something else. If you choose to put a mask on, if you choose to send people to concentration camps, if you choose to do that, you will be a mortal enemy forever. When that demon is gone from the White House, you will be hunted, just like you hunted them. You will be hunted. You will never have a moment of peace, period. Out of everybody I despise the most, ICE is at the top of the list right now. You guys are traitors, man. And the fact that you let Proud Boys and Oath Keepers and all these insurrectionists on the team, that lets you know, man, listen, I'm going to tell you something, too, to you Proud Boys. I don't give a if that felon anoints you in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. We're not going to recognize that shit in these streets. Understand that shit. So when you come out here, be ready for those one-way missions. All right? It's all fun and games until you deal with heavily armed veterans who are willing to match and seat your energy. Hell will flash trees over before I let anybody in my family be taken. Period. I don't give a f. And you could tag that fake ass God of War himself. F him too. Right? I don't give a damn about any of these demons, man. ICE is an absolute scourge. You should hold your head in shame forever.
The next.
No shade, and that's the dangerous part of this thing. There are people who literally just want reconciliation. There are people who have seen this happen time and 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 time. And did I mention a time again? And a little bit more time on top of that. A couple of forevers. I'm the only one. You're the only one. Who want just peace. There is a way for there to be peace for all of us. I don't give a fuck who says it's not possible, bitch. I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to the ones that can see the forest. And not just the fucking trees, but see the whole forest. I need for the people who see the bigger picture to come together. Because if we don't, what he is saying is that once Trump is gone, because after this presidency, girl, it's going to be a long time before a Republican become president, because every time they get in office, girl, they always want to fuck shit up. And no shade, and I'm just going to say allegedly speaking, all you trap ass niggas, girl, this is the time, girl. This is time for you to show how strong you are, how powerful you are, how much of a boss you are. This is the time for y'all to go ahead and do this. It's time for y'all to open up y'all damn mouth. This is time for y'all to motherfucking put boots to the ground, pull the chop out the car, or do whatever the hell you have to do. George Zimmerman's still walking around, girl. Why? Kyle Rittenhouse is still walking around, girl. Why? And no shade, those people who are wearing those masks, the same people who do not want to wear a mask for their health, but wear the mask to destroy someone else's life, don't feel some type of way when y'all found out, because again, if this is how the game is going to be played, girl, we gonna see who really DEI and who not. That's where the shit becomes dangerous. I'm gonna get to this comment real quick before we finish up with the video, y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Shout out to the replay gang. Deshaun says, breaking news, breaking news. Teacher and soccer coach busted for actually assaulting 10-year-old in school bathroom during power outage. Kentucky, and yes, this is a white teacher too, but we're so concerned about queer people. We're so concerned. We're so concerned about queer Bibles that we don't even know that there are weirdos that are right around your kids every single month time, and their teacher to men. There was a black little girl that I believe was 5 years old that was lured in by a group of white boys, 8, 9, and 10, that actually raped this little black girl, pulled her hair, had bruises on her face, and I believe CTV spoke about that. So make sure y'all check out Conscious TV's content. I believe he spoke on that. The mother said she had a great spirit and a very funny, high vibrational spirit. She used to joke around, she used to laugh, she made other people laugh. She was a nice girl. But after what happened, she is not the same, okay? All she can see was that day where she was lured into the woods with those boys. And how do they know about that? Let me know, since this black father keeps talking about queer books. The majority of these ex-offenders are in a sky high everywhere, but they're focusing on queer children books. Those white boys that did that to that little girl, how much you want to make a bet on that those boys were also touched by their fathers and carried over to a strip club with older women, and women that do that stuff with little 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds. No shade, Boosie. No shade, as we found out Mama D, in that order. That's what I'm saying. Like, these individuals don't want to have those real ass conversations. They want to have the safe conversations. They want to have the echo chamber conversations, but they never want to have the real ass conversations. because this shit is getting dangerous, y'all. I keep telling y'all this, and I want to be wrong about all this, but all the signs are pointing that I'm not. But anyway, let's take a listen to the Jolly Ginger here, which I forgot to put the source down there. Y'all please forgive me again. I was trying to rush and get this shit done. We almost at fucking 3 hours. We had 2 hours and 30 minutes, so I'm trying to get this shit done. But anyway, let's continue. And here, the Jolly Ginger shares a book where it possibly predict America's next action, okay? Or coming actions, coming attractions to the actions, girl, because these motherfuckers have the complexion for the protection.
Civil War by Stephen March. This is a book that was published in 2022. I read it a couple years back. It's very interesting. What he does is he uses some pretty sophisticated, methodology to predict what America could look like tomorrow and what might lead America to another civil war. And he uses some political forecasting and social forecasting technology along with talking to a lot of experts. So it's not just him pulling shit out of his ass. This dude does a really good job of breaking down where we are and where we're heading. And then using all of that, he has 5 scenarios that he put together that would most likely lead us into the next civil war. A couple things I found most interesting in this book that you're going to find very interesting. Number one, that the people in this country, the day before the Civil War started in 1860, the most highly educated, respected people did not believe that we were going to have a civil war. They didn't believe it would go that far. They believed it was avoidable. And he said in this book that studying other civil wars in other countries, the most common thing that they found amongst the population after they talked to them after the war was over was that the day before the war started, they believed it to be avoidable, but that the day the war started, nobody was surprised. This is a common theme across civil wars. The societies, when it's happening, don't believe it's happening. They believe it can be avoided. They have this hope that the disaster will be averted. It's the frogs in the boiling water concept. And then he goes on to talk about 5 events that he believes could potentially lead America to its next civil war because America is so hyper-partisan, so divided. The delusion of unity has existed too long in this country, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I can't explain the whole book in 3 minutes, but one of the scenarios he provides is the assassination of the president. But if you read how he explains it, he basically explains that a young man will act alone and conduct an assassination because he was radicalized online. It's called stochastic terrorism, and that they will use that assassination to further the hyper-partisan divide in the country, which will ultimately catapult the country into civil strife, civil unrest, and possibly civil war. Think about this. Although Charlie Kirk wasn't a president, they're using his assassination exactly the way Stephen March predicted in this book, and it's kind of scary, especially using all the analytics and whatnot that he used to put in this book. I got so much I can say about this book. I'm rereading it again because it's worth it. But guys, we need to realize where the fuck we are.
You have called.
Make sure y'all go ahead and check that book out. And lastly, for the last part of this segment, Stephen Miller does a massive oopsie. Okay, he accidentally reveals the plump, Lord, I'm putting Planet Trump, girl. They plan on making Plump, girl, I'm gonna call him Donald Plump, girl, making him a dictator. And as you can see here, this is Scooby-Doo with the villains, girl, because these hoes are like Scooby-Doo villains, girl. They are so narcissistic and egotistical, and they believe that they have won, bitch. The war hasn't even been won yet, girl. They're so confident that they're going to win, girl, that they are starting to say the shit out loud. They're starting to really say what they want to say. That's how we... Girl. All I'm going to say is these next 4 years are going to be very interesting, girl, and we're going to really see who was on the right side of history. Especially with all this fucking information we have now as Americans, as human beings, to educate ourselves, to be able to go farther than no man has gone before, mentally and intellectually, girl. We still here? Anyway, take a listen to this shit.
You've called the district judge's ruling blocking the deployment of National Guard in Oregon legal insurrection. Does the administration still plan to abide by that ruling?
Well, the administration filed an appeal this morning with the Ninth Circuit.
I would note the administration won an identical case in the Ninth Circuit just a few months ago with respect to the federalizing of the California National Guard. Under Title 10 of the U.S. Code, the president has plenary authority.
Stephen? Stephen? Hey, Stephen, can you hear me? It seemed, Stephen, I apologize. It seems like we're having a technical issue. We'll try to fix that and get back to you after a quick break. Stay with CNN.
Can't make shit up, girl. And even though these individuals are in a Scooby-Doo phase, girl, even though we are on the conveyor belt, girl, going down the conveyor belt, girl, where it's about to be the goddamn buzzsaw, and it's about to be some laser lights, and it's about to be some damn blaze that's finna chop us up into mincemeat, girl, and then we're gonna fall into a pool of piranhas, girl. They're gonna eat us up, and then that pool of piranhas is gonna be drained, girl, and then they're gonna be thrown into acid to make sure, girl, because the line is so long, and because they're so narcissistic, and because they have their head up their ass so much, they're literally going to sit up here and talk you to death and tell you what they've done, tell you about their accolades and what they're going to do and how they were able to put all this shit together, not realizing that when you're sitting here talking and gloating, girl, you're giving people time to actually be strategic and actually get themselves out of the situation. So even though they're doing this, I want you to know, and even CTV said it too, narcissists always end up fucking themselves up. And when you have an administration full of narcissists, girl, who all have main character energy, who all want to be in control, who all want to be leaders, girl, it's only a matter of time before they take each other out, girl. Don't believe me? Let's take a listen to our brother. I believe his name is, what's his name, girl?
Do a deeper take.
This cipher, girl. Take a listen on his perspective on how the right eats itself.
On how the right eats itself, because people think they're outside of it, but it's already inside the culture. Because the first right-wing story you ever believed was that Jesus was coming back to end the world. That was the first right-wing story you ever believed. That wasn't a prophecy, but it was fear dressed up as gospel, and it raised whole generations. It rehearsed itself in their sleep. Every revival, every youth camp, every sermon, it smuggled that into their chest, that the world will burn and you better be ready. That's the inheritance of fear. Peace wasn't inherited. A stopwatch was. Love wasn't inherited. Dread disguised as salvation was, and it's been carried forward ever since. I want you to understand that these people live in an embodiment of fear. That's why headlines feel like countdowns. That's why collapse is still a dream that so many can't shake. That's why neighbors build bunkers and uncles stockpile guns. That's why churches call drills ministries. A part of the culture just feels safer knowing destruction has a plan. They do. Fear became an inheritance and was called faith, and that was 20 years ago. That was 20 years ago. That was 2000. Now those children are grown. The bunkers are deeper. The stockpiles are wider. And their children are raised with sharper teeth. Not just waiting for collapse, but practicing collapse. Not praying for rescue. Rehearsing redemption with live rounds. I want you to understand we live in the midst of the gospel of ammo. That's what we live in the midst of scripture that gets swapped for calibers and magazines, boxes of bullets that feel like psalms, loaded clips that become prayers, and the arsenal became an altar. I'm telling you, I can even tell you about the Holy Family right now, the current little setup they got right now. Inheritance changes hands. Kids don't get bedtime stories. They just get a countdown to the end of the planet. That's what they get. They don't inherit blessing. They inherit bunker codes, not a crosshairs. I want you to understand that all they ever do is worship fear. Creation at its deepest isn't trusted to be finished by them. Isn't trusted to be finished. Fear is trusted to finish everything. Every headline becomes a sermon. Every crisis another altar. Literally lives bent toward disaster. Because the only God they believe in is the God of endings. That's what they believe in. And that's the most terrifying part, is that the culture stays quiet because peace terrifies. Rest ruins the story. If peace arrives tomorrow, whole movements will stop. Whole movements will collapse. Because without fear, there's no excuse left. The veil has always been the cover. That fear has always been the faith. That's what y'all believe in. So stop pretending the apocalypse is waiting in the sky. The apocalypse is here. Rehearsed, built, passed down right now. Right now. And anybody desperate enough to perform the end of the world itself can push the button. That's what it is. So no. The right doesn't just eat the left. It aims the gun at whoever it could blame for the end of the world. Instead of resting in the reassurance that Jesus is coming, it lives in the fear that God will get to it first before they ever get to see it happen. That's what they believe. That's what they believe. The second coming, I want to say this deeper. I want to say this so plainly. The second coming was never supposed to appear in the sky. It was supposed to appear in you. The apocalypse was supposed to be a reveal in you. In you. Jesus was supposed to come back through you. Now, if you don't want to hear that, then that's okay. You might be a person who wants to push the button.
You got that money, baby. No shade. I've been saying it for the longest time on my platform. This shit is fear-based. It is fear-based. I've been having conversations with people who know the Bible more than me, who are breaking the Bible down to me, that are showing me other books that blow my fucking mind. There's so much that Christians do not know about their own book. They don't even read their own book. They don't even read their own book. And then when people educate themselves and use the book against them, they've been condemned. Girl, to his point, Jesus came back, or Christ came back, but it was a consciousness. It was an awareness. And a lot of people had to go through hell and survive hell to access that Christ consciousness, because according to the narrative, Christ descended into hell before he ascended into heaven, right? According to the narrative, that was a promise that no matter where you are on the spectrum of humanity, that redemption can find you. But to his point, especially with white, conservative, Christian nationalism, girl, it is about destruction. It is about destruction. These people want to bypass Jesus, bypass Christ to get to God. But in that book, it says no man will get to the Father unless they go through me first. So again, these people are not following what it is that they have been taught, because they don't think. Because if you think outside of what we have taught you, you are operating in an identity that is not Christ. Even though Christ walked around without a fucking book. Even though Christ broke laws all the time. Even though Christ hung with the people that society and that Maga, some of these black fupa having ass niggas will sit up here and try to destroy. This is factual. According to the narrative, or we're going to say factual, girl, factually speaking, according to the Christian Bible, girl, this is what happened, right? But lastly, before we end the live, girl, I love when white people get other white people together, girl, because they're not going to hear from the BubzDaGawd, girl. I'm too radical for them. I have locks in my hair. I just look very ethnic, so they're not going to get it from me. But maybe if they get it from someone else who shares the same experiences as them, maybe they'll get it. I'll leave y'all with this before I end the live tonight.
My God, can we stop with the bullshit of this CK, his wife, this whole production? Do you people not get what you're looking at here? I grew up in the times of Barnum and Bailey, okay? Before people could afford Universal or Disneyland, an actual fucking circus would roll into town to hypnotize the masses. Look at what you're watching. You have Netanyahu with the whip as the ringleader, that orange stain running around in circles, distracting everybody. The bedazzled sequin trapeze artist who is his wife. What the fuck was that? Okay? Since when do widows look like they just came back from a 7-day spa vacation? Okay, from the Four Seasons. Roots done, Manny. Eyelashes in case anybody, actually sees a tear, it'll catch them. Not to mention, what the fuck was this fucking satanic symbol? Because I haven't seen that since a fucking Ozzy Osbourne concert. There you go. All roads probably lead back to that counterfeit country with her as well. You people better wake the fuck up. I did stand up for 30 years, so I absolutely know a production. I absolutely know a carnival. You motherfucking MAGA are being hypnotized.
I'm muted. Sorry, y'all. That's it, y'all. No shade. That's the video. That's the live for y'all. And make sure y'all stay tuned because I'm going to be doing more lives for you guys this week. I was trying to rush to get this one done. But no shade. We are in the end games. We're in the end times now, y'all. As far as the end of democracy as we know it. To sit up here and say that America is beyond becoming North Korea or Russia, totalitarian country, as we see it happening in front of our faces, like, I really want y'all to like think about this and deal with the fear, because it's about to hit all of us. I was talking to my dad earlier today about racism, because they stay in a predominantly white, it's becoming more mixed now, but predominantly white neighborhood and predominantly white county. So I know what it feels like to have those eyes on you without you even having to look at them. And I told him how much I hate this is still happening. I was talking to my dad about the Detroit riots during '67. And he was under the age of 10 at that time. Looking outside the window and having his parents yell at him to not look outside the window as he saw tanks coming down the street. Like, there's so many movies and news articles to where people can learn, but people is okay with learning when it becomes performative. Oh, let me do a hashtag, let me do a video, let me just say I agree, and but when the time comes for hoes to put their money where their mouth is, or for them to walk it like they talk it, baby, they end up having to be in a wheelchair now. They can't walk, they can't do the two-step, they can't stanky leg or nothing, bitch. They are now crippled. But to those of you that are listening that are LGBT, that are black, that are people of color, those who are not part of Maga, this is the time for us to tap into humanity. That's the only way we're going to win. That's the only way we're going to survive, is if we stick together. Which means that if you see ICE taking people, you need to become more active in disengaging that or disrupting that. That means if you're a Christian and you see other Christians being queerphobic or being racist, you are then obligated to check them on that. Because the God that sees all things, right, is watching, right? Fuck a human being. The creator that created all things is watching, correct? So you don't think that it's watching? You don't think it sees you? And yes, all of this is being documented. It's being recorded. I'm looking right now at the red light, girl, on my phone, bitch. I'm being recorded, which is why I think and think twice. That's why I'm glad that I stutter, because if I could say what I wanted to say without stuttering, baby, I'd probably be in a different situation. But this is the time for us to tap into humanity. And at the end of the day, even though I am a same-gender loving man of color by societal's definition, as far as my objective and personal and subjective interpretation, is that I am a human being like everybody the fuck else. If God, source, universe, consciousness did not want me in this experience, it would not have allowed for me to breathe air. It does not need your fucking help, especially when you don't know when your bitch ass is going to end. It's going to leave. It's going to be called to wherever you're going to be called after this. So stay vigilant, stay aware, educate yourself. Go, there are social media sites and people you should follow who give you information on how to deal with ICE, how to deal with potential civil wars. There, self-defense, like there are things that you can learn right now while you have the time, while we have the internet access, while we have the access to electricity and water. Educate yourself, because baby, the big ass test is here. baby, we failing. And the teacher is coming in like that one teacher's aide or whatever. When I beat the girl ass yesterday, people asked me, why do I like to fight? I said, because I like to and I'm good at it. We're gonna have to become more aware. Because again, I survived this. I know what this looks like. The same people who are doing this shit to adults have done this to children. I was one of the ones that was not meant to survive. I was one of the ones who should have become a statistic. But because I haven't, and I survived exile, and I learned what exile really meant, not by their viewpoint, but by my perspective, I was able to change my life for the better, mentally and emotionally, which gives me the courage to stand up. Because ain't no going back into the closet. The closet has been destroyed. I wish some of you niggas would come out. We're not going back on the plantation because we escaped the first time, bitch. You think we ain't gonna escape the next time? In white America, this is your opportunity to end racism, or to put that bitch to sleep, a long, deep slumber, bitch, and bury the bitch and throw some cloves of garlic on top of the thing in case it gets back up, vampire ass spirit. Y'all have the opportunity to actually work this out. But y'all have to make that choice. And if you don't make that choice, then maybe your children's children will go through an experience and actually make that choice to change for the better for all of humanity. Anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like button. It helps this channel to grow on the algorithms. We are at 953 on the road to 1K. If you like the vibe over here on BubzDaGawd, please make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you can stay up to date with all of my content, both live and edited. If there's anything I said in my live, this live, or any live, I give you permission to use my content. I'm not no hating ass individual that will sit here and strike your shit. Oh, you're using my shit. I don't care. If you agree, disagree, you just want to read the hell out of me, you want to roast me, I give you permission to do that. The only thing that I ask, though, above all things with that, is that make sure you tag me at BubzDaGawd so that I know it's real. So you talking about real shit. And if you feel compelled, you can definitely hit that CashApp $BubzDaGawd because we take everything that jingles and folds. Shout out to King Deshaun, shout out to Queen Stevie, shout out to King Twan, shout out to Queen Spicy, shout out to the replay gang, shout out to you lurking ass individuals, okay? And until next time, everybody, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Tuesday and make sure y'all keep y'all, like I said, girl, make sure y'all keep the notification bell clicked to all because you don't know when I'm gonna drop some shit, girl. I might be compelled in the middle of the night to do a live, and if you really rock with me, make sure you do that. All right, until next time, everybody, peace.
I can be anything I choose in this round. We are a sound vibration too deep to tell.
Formed against me shall prosper. Oh, it won't work. No weapon formed against me. Give me that ad lib again. No weapon. One more time. No weapon. One more time. No weapon. Bitch. Who the fuck y'all hoes? Okay, the facts are back. So who the fuck y'all hoes think it was, bitch, or what time of day it was? Okay.
You gotta understand that this is a community-based project. We're not getting any funding from the government. I seen bitches out there talking about, wait till Trump hears about this. Trump can suck my dick.